Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ariel Helwani Show!
Back in your life on this Tuesday, July 29, 2025. Hello again, everyone. I sure hope you're doing well. It's great to be back on a lovely Tuesday in New York City. It is beautiful outside. It is beautiful inside. A beautiful show planned for all of you. And you know, on Tuesdays, we like to play 5 o'clock Ariel Helwani on DAZN. But first things first, we got a lot to get to on today's program. Back end of the show, the head coach for the one and only Ciryl Gane, Fernand Lopez of Paris, the MMA factory over there, be going up against Tom Aspinall for the title October the 25th in Abu Dhabi. He'll join us. It's been a minute since we spoke to Fernand. Of course, originally was the MMA coach for one Francis Ngannou, now has been by Ciryl Gane's side for quite some time. We'll talk to him about the big heavyweight title showdown against Aspinall and perhaps Gane's last chance to become undisputed heavyweight champion. We shall see. We'll talk to him about that at 3 o'clock. At 2:30, I'm so excited about this. The one and only Rory MacDonald. One of my favorites ever. I'm trying to point. Yeah, there he is. Haven't talked to Rory in several years. 4 years? 5 years maybe? And he retired from MMA. Seemed like he lost the fire. Seemed like he lost his love for the sport. And now, slowly but surely, kind of out of nowhere, starting with the return to Montreal in May, he's reemerged. You know, the UFC did a great job of bringing back some Quebec/Canadian stars, GSP, of course, David Loiseau, Valérie Letourneau, and also Rory Mac. Mark Hominick was there. And it was great to see him back. And then all of a sudden I see him training with Wonderboy Thompson, his former foe/friend. And I'm like, is something going on here with Rory? And when Wonderboy said, you know, he's got that fire again, I thought to myself, let's check in with Rory. In his prime, I used to love talking to Rory. I always found him to be a very fascinating interview. Yuri Prochaska-esque. To some people, they're like, they don't give you a lot. But the ones that you have to dig, and they're so interesting, and there's so much more to them than meets the eye. Love those chats. Really looking forward to talking to him again. It's definitely been, I would say, maybe even 6 years. Maybe even 6 years. Is that possible that it's been that long? Is time flying that quickly? His last fight was in 2022. 2022. No, I'm not going to say 6 years. I'm going to say maybe 4 or 5 years. Maybe 4 or 5 years. In any event, that's at 2:30. At 2 o'clock, one of the top contenders in the heavyweight division, so a bit of a heavyweight feel to today's program, the one and only Jailton Almeida is going to join us. He meets Alexander Volkov on the 25th of October in Abu Dhabi, in what is being viewed by a lot of people, including myself, as a number one contender fight in the heavyweight division. And so he was campaigning very hard to get the Aspinall fight. He didn't get the Aspinall fight. This, in my opinion, is the next best thing. He beats Volkov. Aspinall wins. That's a spicy little one in the first or second quarter of 2026. So the big man from Brazil, Jailton Almeida, will join us at 2 o'clock. At 1:35, we'll be joined by Shadasia Green, who just beat Savannah Marshall at Madison Square Garden on Netflix, unified champion, super middleweight division. She is in the running for a big fight against Claressa Shields, who was in action this past weekend. One of the faces of the most valuable promotions stable of great women's fighters. They just signed 5 more, or at least announced 5 more signees this morning. Shadasia was the first that they announced after the initial, Jake Paul, Amanda Serrano sign. By far the best performance. I mean, she fought beautifully, and it was a close fight. And I understand that Savannah thought that she won, and I'll be 100% honest. In the moment, I thought she was going to get the nod. But here we go. Claressa, a free agent. I know she's campaigning for that fight against Laila Ali. If she doesn't get it, it could very well be Shadasia versus Claressa next. And as we talked about yesterday, that's probably the most interesting fight out there right now for Claressa Shields. And then before that, in about 15 minutes, we'll be joined by one half of the main event for the UFC show this weekend, the Pride of Japan, Tatsuro Taira, who is returning to action for the first time since October when he lost his very first pro fight. Remember, he was 16-0 going up against Brandon Royval, lost that fight via split decision at the Apex. He was supposed to fight this weekend against Amir Albazi. That fight got canceled, and we ended up finding out yesterday morning that his new opponent is the undefeated prospect Hyun Sung Park of South Korea. So there you have it. There's the 5-pack right over there. A nice little eclectic mix of guests. Yesterday was a phenomenal show. We had the one and only Ric Flair on the program, among others. And towards the end of the show, we gave you an update regarding Ben Askren, and he has since provided another update. And I want to do this each and every time he provides an update, at least in this early, in this early chapter of his recovery, because it's amazing how much he's sharing, and it's very inspirational, and it's been all positive, except for yesterday, there appeared to be a small setback. Here's Ben explaining it on his social media.
Well, as you guys can probably tell, I'm not home anymore, fortunately. I had my first checkup this morning. They didn't like the way the last chest tube worked. Thought it was infected. Put me on some antibiotics, and then, had a few x-rays, and hopefully we get this solved fast. But, right, Stockdale paradox, it wasn't always going to be smooth. It wasn't always going to be easy. It wasn't going to always be all the way up. So hopefully this is a small hiccup, then I'm back home, getting stronger again. So, thought you guys appreciate the update.
Yeah, we do, and we're obviously sending him the best. It's incredible how, I know these are just like 30-second updates, but it's incredible how he's remaining positive, and he's trying to teach us lessons in these very trying moments. He gets to go home, you see him on the bike, and now back in the hospital. So we're sending you our very best, Ben, his wife Amy, his kids, his entire family, and we have a couple days left in our auction. You'll recall this is the table, beautiful stuff signed by the likes of Tom Aspinall, Alex Volkanovski, Israel Adesanya, Rico Verhoeven, Merab Dvalishvili, Demetrius Johnson, Dan Hooker, Tracy Cortez, and on it goes. It's up on the eBay auction. We'll put the link in the chat. So if you want to partake, it's pinned right now. You can partake by clicking on there, placing a bid. Every penny counts. Every dollar counts. We appreciate you all very much. And it expires on Thursday at 12:58 p.m. So 2 minutes before the boys in the back go live. So pretty much 48 hours left. Please, 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 let's try to get that number as high as possible. And we all appreciate you all very much. And again, every single penny goes to Ben Askren's family. Every single penny. All right. Speaking of updates, yesterday, of course, we were talking about RDR's big win over Robert Whittaker. We did not hear anything from Robert in the immediate aftermath of the fight. He has gone on his social media to share some thoughts after the very close loss to RDR back on Saturday in Abu Dhabi. Here's what the Reaper had to say.
G'day, everybody. It's a couple of days since the fight. Thought I'd give you all an update. I'm disappointed, but I'm not disheartened. There were a lot of things I liked about the fight. There were a lot of things I didn't, but I'm going to take it all, head back to the gym, sit with the team, pick it apart, and then get back on the horse. That's all you can do. Congratulations to Derrida. He had a particular game plan and he executed it well. It got him the win. It is what it is sometimes, but yeah, I'm gonna learn from this experience and move forward. I do want to say thank you very much to everyone that supported me, to all the fans out there and my supporters and friends and family that support me day in, day out. Thank you very much. Without you guys, picking me up, sending me the kind of messages on a win or a loss, it's, you guys are my heart, and I appreciate that. Also, my sponsors, all my sponsors, I want to say thank you very much to. You guys, paved the way for me between fights, and wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. But this isn't the end of Robert Whittaker. This is just, another learning curve, another speed bump. I'm going to spend some time with my family now. We're going to go, I'm going to spend some time with my family, going to just rest, recover a little bit, and then hopefully get back on an Australian card. It's been a while, and I'm longing for it. It's been a while since I fought in Australia, and I'd love to love to fight here again. It's time. It's time. But that's me. Thank you very much, everybody, tuning out.
Always very positive. Always putting a nice spin on things. Obviously upset, but saying it's not the end. And I would say Robert Whittaker deserves a fight in Australia. It has been a very long time since he last fought in Australia. He was supposed to fight on that card and then got hurt at the 11th hour. The last time, I'm going to say the last time was like 2019. There it is. The Izzy fight. Yeah, it's been a long ass time. And then prior to that, it was a while too. 2016. So he's had a bunch of fights in Abu Dhabi, one in Riyadh, Vegas, Anaheim. Yeah, let's get Robert Whittaker back in Australia, for goodness sakes. So we wish him well. Glad to see that he's in good spirits. Speaking of RDR, bit of a back and forth between him and Paulo Costa, which is getting to be a lot of fun. This was yesterday. With all due respect, I would knock out De Ridder 3 times each round. All that said, congrats for your win today, despite bad fight. That was on Saturday night after the win. RDR writes, I hope you enjoyed the show. Costa writes, nah, congratulations anyway. RDR writes, you got your first win in 3 years. I got my first decision in 4 years, and you talk. Actions speak louder than words, so meet me in November, MSG. Don't sit out for another year. Sign me up. We were talking about this yesterday. We all think Caio Borralho and Nassourdine Imavov are fighting for the number 1 contender spot in September. We know the title fight is happening in August. Timing works out. Caio and Imavov are arguing as to who the backup is. Who the hell cares? Hopefully it's unimportant, or even who the number 1 contender is. Like, let's see. Whoever wins is the number 1 contender. That's it. Very easy. Are they going to fly to Chicago in August to be the backup? Who knows? Elementary at this point. I honestly, I say let Paulo go out there, be the backup, and then have them fight for the number 1 contender spot, and then Paulo fights RDR in November. Easy peasy. But I like it, and RDR is calling a shot. So let's see if they actually do it. And that's in a little less than 4 months from now. It's in mid-November, that MSG card. Speaking of Twitter, what about this tweet from Nathan Diaz? Is he calling for a fight with Max Holloway? This guy cool, but he keeps wearing my belt. Is that what that is? Holloway versus Diaz? We were talking after the Holloway-Poirier fight, like who makes the most amount of sense. And we were saying Charles Oliveira, and I don't think anyone would hate that necessarily. Is Diaz going down to 155 to fight Max Holloway?
No.
Does anyone want to see that?
No.
I'm into it.
I definitely want to see that.
Holloway, Diaz, you don't want to see it?
I mean, Holloway, in my opinion, I think Holloway smokes them at this stage in their careers.
Does Holloway move up to 170?
Probably not.
I feel like no.
I don't think Diaz is going to go down to 155. I don't think Diaz goes down to... So I'm saying Diaz will say, come meet me
Does
at
the
170.
weight class matter, though? Like, I don't think it needs to be...
It can be open.
So is it intriguing for Max Holloway to go up to 170 and become a double BMF champ? 155 and 170.
Well, no, Jorge won.
That's a nice little wrinkle. I kind of dig it.
We haven't seen Nate since September of 2022.
Yeah, coming off a win.
I'm interested just because I would like to see Nate Diaz in MMA and not boxing.
I do agree with that. I agree with that. I would prefer to see Nate Diaz in MMA. But man, Max Holloway seems to have found a new gear at 155 right now.
Listen, I didn't see this one coming. It's very clear that he's kind of trying to pick a fight here, right?
Yes.
Is there anything more interesting for, like, are you more interested in Max versus Charles than this?
Yeah.
Really?
If you're Max, probably, right? Because
Charles just
that
got
moves
knocked out.
Yeah, but that's going to move you closer to the Ilya fight.
Nate is coming off a win over Tony Ferguson 3 years ago.
Win over Jorge Masvidal. What? A win's a win.
I don't know if the UFC rankings account for...
But it's not like he's getting, like, starched by anyone.
I'm not saying he would get starched.
He's not face planning.
I'm not saying that he would get starched.
If
the energy that Nate Diaz showed in that Tony Ferguson fight 3 years ago, I don't think is enough to keep pace with Max Holloway in 2025.
Listen, there was a time in 2019 Max Holloway was fighting Dustin Poirier and looked outmatched outsized. Didn't look like he was on his level at 155. Look how much can change in 6 years, let alone 3.
All right, Max Nate.
By the way,
you're selling
even
it,
odds each way.
in an era where the UFC needs superstars, you're telling me they turned down Nate Diaz?
No,
I'm not saying they don't turn it down. I'm not saying they don't make the
Let's
fight
get
or
Nate
anything.
back.
I'm just talking about my intrigue.
Nate proved his point. He went out there. He got a couple boxing matches. He got some big paydays. But to your point, Rick, we all want to see him back in MMA. And,
yes.
and if I'm being honest, I think he wants to be back in the UFC.
I
right?
think so too.
Well, even on the way out, he kind of talked about coming back. It was never like he was done with the UFC. I think he was just looking for opportunities to make more money, and he did that. Look, he got a bunch of big fights. So I'm open. I'm totally open to Nate Diaz back in MMA. I think Max Holloway's a great dance partner. If you're Max, obviously, I think you have more options and opportunities and decisions. Like, I would probably rather have the Charles fight because it's going to get me closer to an Ilya fight for the title. Not the BMF title, the actual title. But Nate, if everybody else gets booked up, like it is not a bad thing to have a massive Nate Diaz fight. That's a pay-per-view headliner to me. That's a pay-per-view headliner.
Oh, hell yeah.
In my book. So
especially for the BMF title?
Yeah, I don't care about that part.
No, but once it's for that title, they will put it as
a headliner, yeah. Well, I just think Nate
Max
Diaz's
versus
name
Nate at the White House? You kidding me?
Boy. Oh, shit.
Two American superstars at the White
Max
House?
Holloway's taking a year off.
Yeah, you're right. You know, we keep talking about the White House thing so much that I forget that it's literally in 12 months from now.
Put Max and Nate in the co-main at MSG.
Ooh, back at MSG.
Those guys are not co-main eventers.
You think they're main eventers?
Yes.
Yeah. Max versus Nate, first Netflix show. January 2026.
All right, now we're cooking.
Come on, you're telling me you put those two guys on the Netflix and that they pop up and people aren't clicking on that?
Of course people are clicking on it.
That's big time stuff.
It is big time stuff.
And you know what? He's right. It is his belt.
700.
You know what? He is right. It is his belt. That's his belt. He's champion emeritus, if you ask me. Let's get him back. I say we get him back. But I thought that was interesting.
Eric, Ariel's producer. Can you hear me?
Didn't see that coming.
Wrong button.
Oh, sorry. Thank you for that, Eric.
Look at that. That's breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, I love it. Yesterday I was on Netflix. Speaking of Netflix, and was getting the family together to watch Happy Gilmore. Thoughts on that in a moment. But I told them we need to watch the beginning of Raw, and true to form, WWE did a phenomenal tribute to Hulk Hogan. You can watch it now on Netflix. It's on their social media as well. I had the 10-bell salute. Eric Bischoff was there. Nick Hogan was there. His longtime manager, Chad Bronstein, there as well. You see the Raw superstars there. Really, really nice stuff. And then they played a great video package in his honor. So I was very happy to see that. There's Nick with his wife, Eric Bischoff, to their left. So lovely stuff as they continue to honor the late Hulk Hogan, which I suspect they'll do so as well come SummerSlam this weekend at MetLife, Saturday and Sunday. And then we ended the night watching Happy Gilmore. And if I'm being honest, I adored it. My official review, 15 out of 10. I absolutely loved it. The cameos were incredible. Sandman was in rare form. He was phenomenal. Having his family there actually made me cry towards the end. And I see no spoilers because some members of the team haven't watched it yet. But I absolutely loved it. My kids loved it. They were laughing. My wife loved it. It was a great family movie. I don't remember the last time I watched a full movie start to finish and didn't fall asleep, especially in the evening. MJF was phenomenal. Becky was great. The other cameos were great. I'm not going to spoil them. A lot of callbacks, a lot of nostalgia, a lot of fun. 4 thumbs up. And anyone who doesn't like it, anyone who's crapping on it, just isn't fun. All right? Like lighten up. Have some fun. It was a great sequel. If you watched the first one, didn't watch the first one, honestly, it doesn't really matter. Like, I think that one could stand up on its own. And if you watch the first one, and if you're a Sandman fan, you will love all the references. So if you haven't watched it yet, and you were waiting for my review, the most diehard Adam Sandler fan on the planet, 2.
This guy's a D1 Glazer, bro.
That's right. That's 1,000% right. It was incredible. And I went to bed so happy that it was so good. So happy. And I suppose that it's apropos because what does our next guest always say every time he wins a fight?
I'm happy to go!
It's apropos. It's apropos. Happy Gilmore 2 is out. Tatsuro Taira is back in action this weekend, headlining at the Apex. Let us say hello to the pride of Japan, who is back in action for the first time since October. Hello, Tatsuro. How are you?
Hi, how are you? I'm good.
Are you happy?
I'm still happy.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that. And I think you're having some help with the translation as well. Thank you. But I don't think you need help. Your English is very good.
Well, yeah, I think I need.
Okay, well, we'll work through it. Great to have you back. Looking forward to seeing you come back. Can I ask, your last fight was in October. Why so long in between fights?
なんでこんな時間にかかったんでしょう。
まあ、本当前回負けて、まあ、UFC のトップランカーの、壁を感じて、まあ、トレーニングしてたっていうことですね。
That was my first loss in October. I really felt the level of the top rankers, so I just took time to train.
What lessons, if any, did you learn from that experience fighting Brandon Royval and suffering your first loss? What did you take away from it?
あの試合から何を学びました？
まあ、本当に戦ってて、彼の、自信に満ち溢れてる、闘志を感じたし、まあ、5ラウンドも経験できたのもすごい、僕の中ではすごく大きかったし、負けから、まあ、今まで、負けがあったからモチベーションがすごく今も高いです。
Well, fighting against Royval, I really felt his spirit, the fighting spirit, and then the total confidence that he has. It was a good experience for me to have 5 rounds, experience a 5-round fight. I've been very motivated. I've been very excited. That's how I've been able to train this long. So all the motivation is bringing me up.
And just curious, I know it was a very fun fight. You guys won a performance bonus, but it was a split decision loss for you. Do you think you won that fight, or did you agree with the judges? Was he the rightful winner?
判定にまあ不服というか勝ったなっていう気に実はあったりとかします。
まあ 100% も賛成ですね。まあ、判定に文句はないです。
100% agree to the decision.
Okay, and that's very honorable and admirable. So it was up to you to take a bit of a break, and then they offer you Amir Albazi, and we thought as of a couple of days ago that was your opponent. When you found out that he was out of the fight, was there a worry that you would have to remove yourself from the card because they wouldn't be able to find someone on such short notice?
アルバジが怪我したっていうのは結構ギリギリでしたけど、やっぱ試合なくなっちゃうかなって心配とかもありましたか？
そうですね。まあ本当、今週末試合ができるのか、っていう不安が、まず来て、まあ本当、どんなプランがあるんだっていうのをずっと、マネージャーと UFC と、先週末は、ずっとそのやりとりをしてましたね。
Yes, very true. I was very worried if I can fight almost this week. So it was really the weekend that had to talk with the managers and everyone, figure out and hear from UFC who they wanted, who they can bring. So yeah, I was a bit nervous, but I'm glad that now we have a fight.
Yes, and your opponent is Hyung-Sung Park. Were you familiar with him when he was offered to you?
パク・ヒョンさんはもともと知ってましたか？
まあ、ロードトゥ UFC とか、まあ、見てて、まあ、そうですね、それで、韓国の選手が上がってきたなっていうのは知ってて、まあ、そうですね、本当に、まあ、パンチが、まあ、上手な選手だなっていう印象を持ってましたね。
Yeah, I would follow Road to UFC and you see this Korean fighter coming into the finals and winning the tournament. Yeah, I see him as a good striker.
Yes, and do you feel like there's a big difference in terms of talent between him and Albazi?
アルバッジとパクだとやっぱりだいぶ変わりますか？
まあ、まあ、スタイル的に少し対戦相手のスタイルは変わるけど、まあ、 ただ、試合のプランとか、そういうのはもう本当、ただただ自分の力を証明するだけなんで、そこまで、対戦相手の変更は気にせず、自分の力を、UFC に見せる、ただそれだけです。
True, the style is it's a bit different between the two fighters, but what I have to do, there's nothing changed there. I just need to show my skill, and I want to just keep proving UFC that I'm one of the top fighters.
I see the shirt that you're wearing. I think this is one of your merch shirts, right? And I saw they're all sold out. So everyone, you're still very popular. Everyone loves you. That should make you happy.
Thank you. Yeah, I like it.
Yes. Who designed that?
From Okinawa designer. His name Reiji さん and Mariko さん 作ったって何ですか?
Designer.
Yeah, his designer's name.
Amazing. What does it say on the back?
Back is so simple. なんて書いてます?
From Okinawa to the top.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. How would you describe coming off the Royval fight? How would you describe your confidence? Because sometimes when a fighter goes on a long winning streak to start their career and then suffers their first loss, you see them maybe a little bit gun shy, a little bit different in the first fight back. How would you describe how you're feeling heading into Saturday?
試合に向けてどのぐらい自信がありますか？いっぱいお聞きして結構そこで自信を失っちゃう選手の印象続いている一言あるんですけど、どうですか？
本当、前回の試合やって、次負けたらどうしようとか考える期間もあったけど、なんか今は本当、もう次の試合、戦いに向けて、もう心の準備ができているというか、もうその日、あの日と同じような5分5ラウンド、しっかり、自分をぶつけるっていうもう気持ちはできてます。
True, after losing that fight, I would admit there's more points that I would think like, what if I lose another? But now I'm really confident and ready. I just need to show my strength, show my skills. Another 5 rounds I can fight. Just want to keep showing how good a fighter I can be.
I've noticed often when you fight, you sometimes have bleached hair, but this time no blonde. Any reason?
コロラドで練習してて、ラスベガスで髪切ったんだけど、アメリカのブリーチは日本のブリーチの3倍ぐらい痛いからです。
I was training in Colorado, and I just moved to Vegas. I actually had a haircut just yesterday,
Yep.
or a few days ago in Vegas. Bleach in US is so strong, it hurts so bad. I would rather do it in Japan.
Okay. So do you live in Colorado now?
その試合の4週間前に。
Just a month.
A month.
Of camp.
Where did you train?
はい、沖縄。
Oh no, but where in Colorado?
Alright. High altitude martial arts.
Okay. And why did you pick there?
なんでそこを選んでるんですか?
Oh yeah. I'm feeling good training, good coaches, good teammates. I love it. This place.
Okay. Is that why I saw that you were at a Denver Nuggets game with the
Yeah.
jersey? Yes. So are you a Nuggets fan or you were just there because you're living there?
この時に初めてナゲッツファンになったって言ってください。
Well, that game made me a Nuggets fan.
Okay. Are you an NBA fan?
いや、初めて見ました。
That was my first NBA
Yeah.
experience.
Do you watch it on TV? Is it popular in Okinawa?
沖縄でテレビ見ることとかありますか?
そうですね。沖縄ではもう地元の琉球キングスっていうのが盛り上がってて、NBA は見てなかったんですけど、沖縄でもバスケが地元のチームが盛り上がってるです。
Basketball is actually big in Okinawa. I haven't seen NBA, but there's a local team, B League team in Okinawa that's doing very well, and I like watching them.
I love it. I'm also very happy to see that I feel like MMA is enjoying a renaissance in Japan. I saw the Ryzen event this weekend had a huge crowd, and it seems like they're really gaining a lot of momentum. How does it make you feel to see the popularity? Because there was once a time in the early 2000s with Pride, and then Sengoku and Dream, and then it kind of fell off a little bit. But now it seems like Ryzen is really gaining a lot of momentum in addition to the other organizations. To see the popularity in Japan grow again, how does that make you feel? And why do you think this is happening?
いろんな格闘技また、元気になってきたなというか、ライジンのこの試合もありましたけど、かなり盛り上がってたみたいで、一時下がってたところからまた上がってきたって感じだと思いますけど、どう捉えてますかって、どうしてまた格闘技人気が上がってきてると思いますか？
そうですね。本当日本の、僕が格闘技始めてから、MMA とか、YouTube とかで見るようになったんですけど、本当、そういう日本のドリームとか戦国とか、の格闘技も、有名なやつは見てきたし、そして今日本で、MMA が盛り上がってるのはすごい嬉しいし、その UFC の、この選手も、日本人の選手も増えてきて、またもう一個、日本の MMA の熱っていうのを、もう一つ爆発させたいなって思ってます。もっともっと上がると思います。
Yeah, I remember those days. When I started MMA, I started watching all the fights, like Pride, Dream, all that. It's very good to see MMA getting bigger in Japan, and more UFC fighters, more UFC Japanese fighters joining in. Yeah, I definitely want to be the person to lead this MMA in Japan and make it even bigger.
The next title fight in your weight class is going to be the champion Alex Pantoja against Joshua Van. Do you think Joshua Van can beat him?
パントジャバンになると思いますけど、バン勝てると思います。
僕はチャンピオンがパントージャが勝つと思います。
I would say Pantoja would win.
Have you been impressed with Van though?
バンの試合はどうでした？
もう本当、彼の試合には、本当、なんていうんですかね、僕もちょうどファイトキャンプ中ですごい、心の中が燃えるようなものを感じたし、やっぱ本当に、なんていうんですかね、本当面白い選手、勢いがある選手で、次のタイトルマッチもめちゃくちゃ楽しみですね。僕も、また次、僕がそこに行けるように頑張りたいなって感じです。
That last Joshua Van fight, I was at fight camp, so it really filled my energy as well. It was a great match. Joshua Van is doing very well. He always shows a very fun fight. A very exciting fighter. I'm very excited to see the title match, and of course, I'll be watching as myself, being there for the next one.
If you win this fight on Saturday, how many fights do you think you are away from being in that title picture?
今週勝って、その後どのぐらいでタイトルに行けると思います？
今週勝って、そうですね。ランキングがどうなるかわかんないですけど、僕より上の選手とかとやって、今週勝ってもう一回勝って、タイトルマッチしたいなっていうふうには思ってます。
Yeah, I'd say win this week. Likely one more against a higher ranker, depending on where I rank after this one too. But probably one more with a higher ranker, and then brings me a title fight.
Did you think it was crazy? This is your 8th fight in the UFC, and your fellow countryman Kai Sakura got a title shot in his debut, and you haven't gotten a title shot yet. Is that crazy in your opinion?
はい、これ8試合目です。カイさんは1試合目がタイトルでしたが、クレイジーですか？
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you think he did in the fight? Were you expecting the fight to go that way, or were you expecting him to do better?
どう思いましたか？タイトル戦見てってことですか？そうですね。やっぱ、大きなチャンスだったけど、やっぱり、 まあ一戦目で、タイトルマッチ UFC のケージで、まあタイトルマッチっていうのは、自分もデビュー戦経験してるから、まあ、すごい調整とか難しいものがあると思うし、やっぱり、まあ試合を見ても、まあチャンピオンのパントージャがやっぱ、まあ強かったなっていうのを、まあ会場で見てたんですけど、そう思いましたね。
That first match, debut match for Kai, is a big opportunity, but it's his debut in UFC in the octagon. I know it can't be easy. I remember my days when I first got into the octagon, and I know how that feels. And Pantoja was so good. He's so strong. I was there at the venue, actually watching live, but yeah, I think Pantoja showed his strength.
He's returning soon. Would you like to fight him? Would you be interested in that fight against Kai?
やってみたいですか?
戦ってみたいです。
Yeah, yes, I'd be interested.
Okay, that would be huge. We should do that one at Saitama Super Arena.
Yeah, that's excited, yeah.
Yes, that would be incredible. And by the way, I saw that you're on the cover of the famous Gong magazine. That's a big honor, right? To be on the cover of that magazine?
合格の表紙見ましたよ。
Yeah, めちゃくちゃ気に入ってます。
Yeah, I actually love this cover.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Amazing. So congratulations on that and welcome back and looking forward to seeing you in action this Saturday. Thank you so much for the time. Arigato. Thank you and good luck to you.
Arigato.
Okay, there he is, the one and only Tatsuro Taira, kind enough to join us, the pride of Japan, who's going up against the South Korean undefeated prospect Hyung Sung Park, who is taking this fight on less than a week's notice after replacing the injured Amir Albazi. A very fun fighter, very fun post-fight interviews, developed a bit of a cult-like following because of those very fun post-fight interviews. Yes. Them's the ones. And he tends to fight at the Apex. I would love to see him get an opportunity to fight outside of the Apex. Not to be this time around. But could you imagine a Kaya Sakura versus Tatsuro Taira fight in Japan? That would be incredible. And they're doing big things over there. The attendance for this past weekend's card was well over 20,000. Ryzen is on some kind of roll. We gotta make our way to one of those. Ryzen, KSW, Octagon, those are the three. I feel like those are the three right now that we need to figure out a way to get over there. Am I missing one? Probably not. Nothing else really in Asia that is jumping out. There's a ton that you could go to. There's a ton that would be a lot of fun. But those are the three. Probably in that order. Ryzen, KSW, Octagon. Would love to go to a Cage Warriors card as well. Not sure if I'm invited or welcome, but I would love to experience it. Our next guest had a phenomenal win at Madison Square Garden just a couple of weeks ago in what was, without a doubt, her best performance to date, and obviously on the biggest stage yet against the toughest opponent yet. I had the honor of being in the ring after the win and getting a chance to speak to her. Take a look at the emotion that Shadasia Green was experiencing after defeating Savannah Marshall to become unified women's super middleweight champion.
I'm so sorry. This is 20 years, man. 20 years. I was 15 years old, and I wanted to box, and I started with this man right here. And my mother told me no. She told me I had to go to college, but she said if I bought my degree back that I could pursue boxing. And these two men, they waited for me. My family, they set me up in an apartment. And then 20 years later, we unified.
20 years.
So I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude and joy.
20 years ago.
And I remember seeing people cry on TV, laughing, and Terrific told me that when I won my titles, I would feel like this. Shout out to Paterson, New Jersey. We did it.
Incredible stuff. One of the highlights of the night. Let us say hello to the pride of Paterson, New Jersey, the new unified super middleweight champion, Shadasia Green. Hello, Shadasia. How are you? It's great to have you on the show.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Of course. What has life been like since that win on July 11th for you?
Well, for me, it's been phenomenal in my head and just recovering because it was a tough fight. Savannah Marshall is a phenomenal fighter. And I just been relaxing, trying to recover and, resting, still running and getting my cardio in. But yeah, That's what it's been like.
That emotion was incredible. You know, we love seeing that stuff because it just shows how much you care and how much it all means to you, especially when you're talking about the 20-year journey. How long did it take for all of that to just kind of subside? Like, did you feel like you were on a high for several days after the fight?
Absolutely, but I also felt my body being so sore, like I got hit by a car 2 days after, and that's how you can tell that I was in there with a phenomenal fighter, as in Savannah Marshall. But yeah, I'm still on that high. I'm just like, wow, like I accomplished something so close to the ultimate goal, and so I'm definitely just not praising myself too much, not believing my own hype, but I want more. I want better. I want better for myself as far as performance wise. But I'm grateful. I'm honored, and I'm thanking the man upstairs every day.
So now in the aftermath, we can talk about leading into it, you know, because this was the biggest stage by far. It was Netflix. It was the biggest name opponent, unified, all that stuff. She's an Olympian. And I'm wondering how much you believed inside, you know, because a lot of people were talking about Savannah and the big step up, but she hadn't been fighting for 2 years. Like, deep down, did you believe, or were you nervous? Were you feeling like, oh man, like this is going to be different than my other fights?
Honestly, I believed all camp. And I trained like that. And I kept telling myself all camp. My trainers kept reminding me, which they didn't need to do so, because I said to myself, I said in the beginning, like, I'm gonna fight this girl. That's what they want to see. Because I kept seeing reviews, and you know, when I listen to the fans, I listen to the critics, and even if they speak negative, I take it and I apply it. A lot of people don't understand that. Like, I don't, return with a negative response. I take to the gym like, okay, they saying I don't have a gas tank. Let's work on my gas tank. I talk to my strength and conditioning coach. I talk to my coaches. Or they saying I don't let my hands go. Let's let my hands go. I didn't have any drama in this camp. So what I kept saying to myself is just basically processing the fact that I was willing to go in there and fight this woman, because I know that's what she comes to do. So I was in the best shape of my life. And at this point, I didn't care if I looked sharp or not. I just wanted to fight, and I just wanted to let my hands go and be victorious. And I believe I accomplished that.
Yeah, I mean, I've had the pleasure of watching you live several times now. The way you were moving out there, the way you were throwing your punches and also evading hers, and the back and forth action, it was the best version of you that personally I've seen, for whatever that's worth. In the immediate aftermath, though, like in that post-fight interview, as you probably remember, Savannah implied that, you know, she thought she was robbed, and she has since doubled down on that in subsequent interviews. What did you make of the things that she said and her energy afterwards?
Look, you got to understand that we are all competitors. This is a part of the game. It comes with the territory. A world champion of her caliber, she doesn't want to, like, for a close fight. You know, normally the champions or the more successor of the champion gets the nod, and unfortunately, she was beat to that nod. So I really don't take it personal. I understand Savannah. I actually like Savannah, and I think Savannah's career is not over. I think the rematch with her and Clarissa Shields is possible. She's a teammate. And I'm all for women's boxing. And when you really got to be true to yourself when you say that, because now Savannah is a teammate, and I was a victor in the matchup between me and her, and I'm proud of that. But Savannah will only upgrade my game from here. If you thought that was the best, that was the best performance, then look forward to what's next, because Savannah Marshall, like I said, is a great fighter, and after doing 10 rounds with her, it could only make me be better.
Do you have any interest, if they approach you about running it back with her to settle it? Do you have interest in running it back?
Like I said, when I got home, I felt like I got hit by a car. You know, I can only imagine what she felt like, but it would have to be totally in my favor as far as financial wise. It would have to really make sense. But unfortunately, like, honestly, I want to move on to bigger and better things. Not saying that she's any lesser of that, but I'm looking for Savannah Marshall was a great fight. Now I'm looking for a tremendous fight, you know. It would have to make sense, you know,
Okay.
and I respect her, and I understand that she would want to run it back. And I'm not saying I'm not willing, but right now, you know, I kind of got my eyes set on something else.
Okay, so you say bigger and better, tremendous fight, got your eye on something else. There's only one name that comes to mind when you say all of this, and that's Clarissa Shields, who fought this past weekend. Is that who you're referring to?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I hate that Clarissa Shields take this as a dig. You know, when I say that I want to share the ring with her, I think Clarissa Shields is a phenomenal fighter. She's one of the faces of women's boxing. I'm always going to say one of the faces, because I believe that, you know, one of the main faces, or one of the faces, is actually the reason that I am a part of MVP, and that's Amanda Serrano, along with Katie Teller. I'm hoping that, she'll come and join MVP and lead for all of the women fighters so that we can continue to build this platform where you get to see and these female fighters get to showcase the best versus the best. I mean, this hasn't happened. There's always someone here and someone there. And with Clarissa Shields' talent, I think that me and her sharing a ring could be an absolute mega fight.
Did you watch her fight on Saturday?
I absolutely did.
What did you think of her performance?
I thought she had a great performance. I think Clarissa Shields is a great fighter. I think her opponent was gamed and lasting. It was entertaining. However, I wish they would have said my name during broadcasting, but I'm sure they were, instructed to do different. But I think Clarissa Shields is a phenomenal fighter and deserves all the praise in the world. And I'm just hoping that, like I said, we can come to terms and she can come take a sit down with Most Valuable Promotions and Nikisa and Jake. I don't know how that goes, but, we could make that happen before she goes off to become a mom and live the life of, being in a blissful relationship, I'm all into boxing. I mean, I'm married, but I love this sport.
So it's interesting what you say about your name not being mentioned on the broadcast. I definitely noticed that she didn't mention your name in the post-fight, but you're saying like on the broadcast in general, they didn't mention your name. And why do you think that was potentially done on purpose?
I seen an interview where Salido has said that I had beat up, washed up, or some sort of like Savannah Marshall who wasn't qualable, like quality wise, which I couldn't understand. Yes, she did take a 2-year layoff, but she stated prior to in the press conference that she hadn't been sitting on the couch. And I think that's so disrespectful to say towards the champion of Savannah Marshall's caliber. I think Savannah Marshall put up a great fight. Like I said, she caught me with a shot that wobbled me as well. And she had a 2-year hiatus. And unfortunately in women's boxing, sometimes we don't get to be as active as we would like to be. But MVP is changing that. And I think that will change for Savannah Marshall. So I think it was disrespectful for Salido. And I think I seen some comments that Mark Taffet had, said too. But I just really think that it's unfortunate that, when you mention Salido and MVP, it's totally different levels. And me being selfless, Clarissa Shields needs to experience that. Like I said, she's a great attribute to women's boxing. And, I think she needs to reconsider and let's get this fight made up and you talk and sit down with MVP. But I think that was a play as far as, promotion is concerned. I see Clarissa Shields as a warrior. I don't think that she's done interviews saying that, hey, if she beats Savannah Marshall, I would be open to fight her. We've had some bad blood in the past. We've also been great friends at younger stages. So I can't see her saying, don't mention Shadasia Green after she was there, congratulated me in my performance. And that's why I tweeted and congratulated her as well. Not personally, but, I thought it was a great performance. But I can't pinpoint why they would do such. Maybe it was because of my performance and, wobbling Savannah a couple of times in that fight, or maybe not. But I look forward to the future with her. I really do.
Do you think she wants to fight you? Do you think she'll be open to it?
I think so. I would hope so. I think that, like I said, if she comes and sit down with Nikisa and Jake at Most Valuable Promotions and we can get together a life-changing scenario, life-changing money for the both of us, and humongous platforms, I think we can be like another Katie and Amanda, and that's a big stage, some big shoes to fill, because those are two great warriors who took out their animosity, took out their personalities, led the way with no negativities, and they made it happen. Not one, not two, but three.
You mentioned at the very beginning of all of this, like you hate that of course you want to fight the best, right? The arguably
right.
the greatest of all time. And you said that like you hate the fact that she may take that as some sort of slight. Why do you think she takes it that way?
I think that she's such a competitor and she has to be more so like, okay, this person is challenging my greatness. I think she takes it wrong in a sense. And I understand, especially from, her background and where she's coming from, you have to be protective of yourself, and it kind of helps her. It builds her up. I mean, she might take that as a dig, but I'm just daring to be great. I would hope that the young and up and coming fighters, let's say, here I am, I'm unified. I'm waiting for my Ring Magazine belt. I love that belt. But I would hope that a fighter in my weight class would say, you know what, I wanna go for the champion. She's the best. I want to test myself against the best. I can't really pinpoint why she takes it that way, but you have to admire her authenticity and where she comes from, her background, and kind of like being no nonsense when you call her name. I just hope she accepts the challenge and bring that anger into the ring, and let's put on a great show for the fans.
Before the fight and after the fight as well, she was talking about the Layla Ali super fight. Layla hasn't fought since 2007, but obviously she's a legend, right? Everyone knows her.
Yes.
Famous last name, Hall of Famer, all that stuff. What do you make of that idea, her fighting Clarissa?
I mean, I can't disrespect what it is that those two want, but I feel like they both have to agree. One, two, me personally, I'd like to leave the legends alone. They're past their prime. They're comfortable. They're doing whatever it is that suits them, to be happy. So, I mean, there's a bunch of talent that's, well, the fans say there isn't any talent left in the hood for Clarissa Shields, but there are some girls that I feel like will come in here with that grit and want to be successful. But me personally, I like to leave the legends alone, and instead of challenging to fight them and challenging them to be better, I respect their accolades. I respect what they put into the sport. I respect the way that they've paid for us to be in this sport. So it's been a while, and that's a hell of a ring rust. I'll tell you that. That's a hell of a ring rust. And but I can't take away from Layla Ali's experience, her grit, her strength. I would never count her out, but I can't count Clarissa Shields out neither. I think that if I had to be in attendance for that with sore eyes, I'll be rooting for either one of them, and I'm sure it'll be a great fight on the flip side.
And this past fight for Clarissa was at heavyweight. She weighed in at 174.6. Do you think she can get down to super middleweight, or would you want to go up to heavyweight or meet her in the middle? Like how? Because it's a pretty big gap there at this point.
Here's the kicker. I've campaigned at heavyweight while I was Clarissa Shields' teammate. Now, I wouldn't drastically go back up to 200 pounds, but I would love to challenge her at heavyweight. I think that's where, I'm not cutting weight. I'm not losing weight or draining myself. I mean, it's a 7-pound difference, but I mean, if it's comfortable for her and she feels comfortable, like she has that KO power up there, let's test the KOs, and I'll go up to 175, no problem. That's how bad I want the fight.
Okay. And you mentioned you were once, friendly, you were teammates, all that stuff. Where did things turn? Where did it get contentious?
I'll keep it straight and clean with you, Ariel. I went to camp with Christina Hammer to help her with sparring.
Okay.
Without letting Clarissa Shields know. We were friends before that. Clarissa Shields offered me to come to camp because we used to have some of the most fiery sparring sessions there was at the Olympic Center. There was the likes of me, Clarissa Shields. I was remember, I'm campaigning at heavyweight. Franchon Cruz was campaigning at light heavy. Clarissa Shields was a middleweight. You had Michaela Mayer. You had Christina Cruz. You had Virginia Fox. You had Marlene Esparza. So this was around the time, like after I came and fought in the 2016 AIBA World Championships and shocked the world at medal in that silver with only 5 fights as an amateur. I was getting called out to come and spar Clarissa Shields to get her ready for the Olympics, which they didn't have an Olympian in my weight class. There was only 3 weight classes in the Olympics. So we became quite really good friends. And I think once, when I told her I wanted to go pro, she supported me. We talked a lot. And then I took the job as being Christina Hammer's lead sparring partner to help her get prepared for Clarissa Shields.
Okay. And she viewed that as some sort of slight.
Yeah, that was a backstabbing to her.
Yeah. In retrospect, Do you wish you told her? Should you have told her? Was it on you to tell her, or do you think it's a little unfair to blame you for this?
In retrospect, coming from the trust issues that she had already had, talking and us being friends, I probably should have told her. But the difference was I was in a situation where I had to feed my family, and Christina Hammer was offering a financial gain from me just being a sparring partner. I wasn't pro. I really wanted to test my skills against, at the time, Christina Hammer was a world champion and one of the best fighters, right, to come out of the country. But if I was a friend that she thought I was and I thought I was, I would have gave her a heads up. And when she was offering for me to come to camp, and me feeling very uncomfortable with asking her, like, hey, champ, are you going to pay me to come to camp? Especially we had done so many sparring sessions at the Olympic Center in Colorado. It was just an uncomfortable situation, but it makes for a great war now. I think we've hashed this out before, but not completely. I could be apologetic for what I did now, for what I did then now. But at this point, it's like, man, that's over 10, 12 years ago. I'm not saying I can tell a hurt man how to holler, but, at this point, I view her as, look, she's one of the best fighters in the world. You've seen the performance she displayed on Saturday. So here I am, unified. I love to go up and test that.
Who's number one pound for pound in your opinion?
I'm going to always be biased. I'm sorry. But I'd have to say Amanda Serrano / Katie Taylor at number one.
You can't have a slash at number one. There's got to be.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ariel. You're not going to get a non-slash.
What do you mean? How could it be? Okay, so you're saying it's them and then Clarissa?
A slash Clarissa Shields too.
Oh, there's 3 slashes at the top. Come on, that's sitting on the fence. What?
I gotta sit on the fence because I think of it in retrospect, different aspects of why. Clarissa Shields is undefeated, right?
Yep.
Katie Taylor beat Amanda 3 times, right?
Yep.
The decisions were in question, but you got to think about this, man. Amanda is 7 weight division world champions, right? She is putting herself on the line to face this woman that the judges keep not giving her the scores or whatnot or whatever's going on. And even though we beg to differ, we say that she was victorious. She's changing the movement for women. And all 3 of them are, but I refuse to disrespect those women and put them 1, 2, and 3. I just gotta we have that, singers, rappers who are 1, 2, 3, or 1A, 1B, 1C.
Okay, fair enough.
That's yeah.
How does it go if you fight her later this year, early next year? How does the fight play out?
Fight who? Clarissa Shields?
Yeah.
It's a close fight. Maybe see. Look, on the toughest level against the toughest opponent, my power showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Savannah has a great chin. She's a great fighter. I think I'm victorious or a drastic KO.
Damn, that would be incredible. That would be life-changing stuff if you're the first one to beat Clarissa Shields as a pro. Later today on my DAZN show, I will be joined by Clarissa Shields. Would you happen to have a message for her in case she's listening to this now, or that I can relay later today?
I'd say phenomenal work Saturday, champ. You deserve all your praises, all your flowers. Come on over to MVP. Let's get this fight situated. They treat you good over here. Whatever you need, whatever you listen. It's bigger than us. You led the path for women's boxing. Continue to lead the path out loud at Most Valuable Promotions, because that's the only promoter that's willing to get the big fights. Their egos are gone. You lead your own show. You can lead your own show here. They're willing to put on the big and the best fights. They leave it to the fighters and what we want. So, just dip your toes in Most Valuable Promotions water and see what we can make of it.
Love it. Thank you, Shadasia. Congratulations on the big win. Great to have you on. And I hope for your sake you get this fight. It would be phenomenal. If that version of Shadasia that showed up a couple weeks ago on MSG fights Clarissa Shields,
Plus better.
We would be in for a treat, and that would be probably her toughest test since the Savannah Marshall fight of a few years ago. So
before I let you go,
yes.
During the weigh-ins, you said, is Patterson in the building? And you said, you guess not. Did you hear Patterson in the building July 11th?
I did.
I wanted.
July 10th, they weren't there. Would you admit?
I mean, it was early.
It was early.
I knew they were coming the next day.
They came when it mattered. They showed up when it mattered. So yes, I love Patterson. So I wasn't trying to knock them, but yes, they were there loud and proud on Friday night, 100%.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me, sir. Thank you for your time.
Yes, much pleasure. And I hope that, are we buying non-cotton sheets? Have we gone to the silk sheets yet? Or
I like the cotton.
Okay, we're sticking with that.
Yeah, because at a certain time at night I get a little sweaty and I'm like, okay, I got to be up in a couple of hours and it wakes me up.
Okay.
So I mean, the cotton is
I like it. Humble and hungry.
That's right.
I love it. Thank you, Shadasia.
Right. Thank you.
Talk to you soon. There she is, the great Shadasia Green, who cut an incredible promo at the weigh-ins. It was Dusty Rhodes, Hard Times-esque, if you know what I'm talking about. Josh Barnett had a variation of that one as well, and she talked about how, she still sleeps in cotton sheets. She's not with those silk sheets just yet. And then I asked her after the fight, are we going to upgrade to silk sheets? And she said, nah, probably not. And here she confirms it. So, the old adage about the silk pajamas, silk sheets, Marvin Hagler, we've talked about it a million times. I've quoted it a million times as well. But I would love to see that fight. And yes, later in the program, actually later today on the DAZN program, Ariel Helwani, we will talk to Clarissa Shields and we'll get her response and, of course, her thoughts on the big win this past Saturday in Detroit at the sold-out Little Caesars Arena. All right, now let's talk to one of the very best heavyweights in MMA. So we'll talk to one of the best, or the best women's heavyweight boxer, best heavyweight MMA. You get the point. Jailton Almeida is right there in the mix. He has a big fight coming up on October 25th in Abu Dhabi. He was campaigning hard for the Tom Aspinall fight. In the end, of course, that went to Ciryl Gane. He's getting Alex Volkov, and we suspect that the winner of that fight will be next in line for a title shot. He is the pride of Salvador, Bahia, Brazil. He's the one and only Maldinho, Jailton Almeida. There he is. Bom dia.
Bom dia.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us, Jailton. And we have your manager, Tiago, here as well. Hello, Tiago.
Hey, I'll be translating for you guys.
Yes, thank you so much. Jailton, thank you for the time. You were really doing a great job, in my opinion, of campaigning for the Tom Aspinall fight when he didn't get his next fight yet. Were you disappointed that you didn't get that fight?
Ele comentou que você estava fazendo um trabalho super legal de pedir a luta com o Aspinall, né? De contar o seu caso do porquê você mereceria e tentar ir atrás disso. Te desapontou um pouco de não conseguir a luta no final das contas?
Na verdade, claro que sim, né? Eu sempre fui um cara que... na verdade, o único cara que tá alfinetando o Tom Aspinall sou eu, né? Na rede social, né? Cheguei até no Instagram dele, pessoal, mandei mensagem. E eu fico desapontado porque era para eu ser o próximo a disputar o cinturão, né? Em vez de ser Ciryl Gane. Então, eu venho de 2 vitórias excelentes, né? Na categoria. Então, quem seria o próximo sou eu. Mas eu tô aqui na disposição para botar qualquer um.
Yeah, it was a little disappointing because I think I was the only one really campaigning for it, and I know that I deserve it. I'm coming from a good winning streak. I fought some great talent, and I know that I should be next, but it is what it is. We got to beat one more guy to get in line, and that's what we're going to do.
There were some fans who were disappointed as well that Ciryl Gane was getting another crack at the title, his third officially. What was your reaction when you found out that it was going to him instead of you?
Diversos fãs ficaram desapontados de ver que quem estaria lutando pelo cinturão seria Ciryl Gane pela terceira vez, né, oficialmente. Terceira disputa de cinturão dele. Como que você se sentiu em relação a isso?
Na verdade, eu me sinto muito decepcionado, né, com a organização do UFC, pelo fato de o único cara que tá alfinetando o Tom Aspinall sou eu, né, como eu sempre disse, e eu venho sempre alfinetando, mas Deus sabe de todos os momentos, né. O som pode esperar que depois eu ganhar Volkov e eu vou ser o próximo a disputar o cinturão, né? E se tiver como reserva, eu vou estar como reserva também. Se caso a luta cair, eu vou estar à disposição também para poder disputar o cinturão. E eu fico triste por causa dos meus fãs, né, que esperavam esse momento, mas ainda vai chegar esse momento ainda.
So yes, of course, I was disappointed. I think I'm the only one that was really campaigning for it and making a case for it. But, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be fighting Volkov. Who knows? Maybe they need a replacement or someone to fill in case something happens. I'll be there. And I'm mostly disappointed. No, I know that all things happen in the right time. I'm mostly disappointed for my fans who were really expecting for this fight to happen.
Have you or your team been told that if you beat Alexander Volkov on October 25th, that you will be next in line for a title shot?
Já foi passado para você pelo UFC de que ganhando com Volkov você seria o próximo na fila?
Eu ganho o Volkov ou não, eu quero estar como reserva se tiver alguma necessidade de algum dos dois, eu quero estar à disposição. Mas é provavelmente isso. Eu ganho o Volkov, eu tenho que ser o próximo da fila, não tem pra onde correr. Né? O próximo sou eu, né? Eu vou ganhar o Volkov, eu tenho certeza que eu vou ganhar o Volkov, e o próximo vai ser sou eu, disputar cinturão, e trazer cinturão pro Brasil.
Yeah, that's the thing. I have to be next. It doesn't make any sense for anything else to be happening afterwards. But I'm gonna beat Volkov. I'm gonna get my title shot, and I'm gonna bring that belt back to Brazil.
And usually these days when you have a top contender fight on the same card as a title fight, there's one fighter deemed the backup fighter in case someone has to pull out of the main event. Have you been told that you're the backup fighter in case something happens to Ciryl Gane on fight week?
A gente tem visto acontecer em diversos eventos, né, de você ter uma luta principal pelo cinturão e uma luta no mesmo peso com os contenders, né, ali, e onde alguém seria o reserva caso dê algum problema, né? Foi passado para você que seria o reserva ou é uma coisa que você vai esperar para ver o que acontece?
Ninguém chegou a informar isso para mim nada ainda não, mas eu estou à disposição para ser o reserva, nesse caso alguma coisa aconteça, né? Mas eu estou pronto para lutar, estou me preparando, já está há muito tempo já me preparando, né? Então, se tiver a oportunidade de eu ser o reserva ali, eu vou estar à disposição, né? É isso aí.
Yeah, there's nothing official being said to us so far, but they know that I'm game. The fight that I really want was Aspinall. We're doing this one because we have to. And if they need me there, even at that same night, I'll fight Aspinall. There's no problem there.
What did you make of the whole situation with Jon Jones where he eventually retired rather than fight him? And then once he gave up the title and retired, now he's saying he's going to come back next year to fight at the White House. All this sort of dragging on for months and months. As someone who perhaps his career was being held up because they were waiting to see how this all played out, how did you feel about the way Jon handled the whole situation?
A gente tem uma situação que acabou de acontecer também, né, do Jon Jones, que, ele travou a divisão durante muito tempo, né, e acabou desistindo do cinturão agora, né, depois de todo esse tempo, abrindo mão dele pro Aspinall pegar o cinturão, mas daí logo em seguida, depois de se aposentar, ele falou que voltaria a lutar para lutar na Casa Branca. O que você acha desse contexto todo aí de Jon Jones no peso pesado?
Ele, na verdade, ele está indeciso para o que ele quer na vida dele, né? Ainda bem que ele já abriu o cinturão e quer fazer super lutas, né? O meu desejo é lutar pelo cinturão, obviamente, mas se ele quiser fazer uma super luta e realizar meu sonho também de lutar contra ele, eu vou estar à disposição também, né? Ainda mais se for na Casa Branca, melhor ainda. E o bom, né? O bom é que deixa a divisão livre, agora que tá correndo tudo direitinho, né? A gente pode chegar mais próximo do cinturão ali. Mas, no meu ver, ele não tá muito ambicioso pelo cinturão, não. Ele quer fazer super lutas, né? Então vamos deixar ele fazer a super luta dele aí e tá seguindo a caminhada da divisão.
The feeling that I get is that, at this point in his career, having a belt gives I don't know if an extra responsibility of just having to keep things moving for the event or for the promoter. But honestly, I think, him coming back and maybe just doing super fights could be a good thing for him. The good thing for me is that the division starts to run, with the belt not being stuck with him. But if he wants to do super fights, if he would be willing to fight me, that would be a dream come true. He's a guy that I've been wanting to compete and to test myself with forever. And if we could do it, hey, even at the White House, I don't know if that's a big enough fight, but I'll fight him wherever, and because I really want to test myself with him.
Who do you think would have won, Tom Aspinall or Jon Jones?
E se tivesse acontecido a luta, quem que você acha que tinha ganho? Jon Jones ou Aspinall?
Eu tô muito fã de Jon Jones, né? Ele é um cara que faz um antijogo ali muito bom, né? E assim, a luta muito dura. Mas eu ia de Jon Jones, obviamente.
Yeah, I'm a huge Jon Jones fan, and I think his countering game is excellent. He's one of the best in the game, and I think he would be able to control and counter Aspinall towards a win.
There are a lot of people who are very high on Tom Aspinall. A lot of people think he's the best heavyweight in the world right now and that he would have beaten John Jones. I am one of them as well. Do you think that he is overhyped? We only see him for a couple minutes. He has these quick wins. We haven't seen the full game from him, the full arsenal. What do you make of his skills? And are you as impressed as so many others?
Muita gente considera Aspinall o melhor peso pesado da atualidade, né? Ele, inclusive, o Ariel falou que ele considera ele o melhor da atualidade hoje. E o que você acha dele, né? Porque a gente não conseguiu ver muito dele, né? A gente não viu ele numa luta mais comprida, né? Sempre vitórias rápidas e tudo mais. Como que você analisa ele? Qual é a tua visão do Aspinall?
Na verdade, eu acho que é um cara muito técnico, ele é novo também. Ele é um cara muito técnico ali, muito habilidoso na trocação. É um cara que tem um jogo de chão por cima muito bom, né? A gente não viu o Tom Aspinall de costa no chão, como é que ele se comporta. É um cara que nunca tomou pressão assim, de 3 rounds, 2 rounds assim. A luta dele sempre acaba no primeiro, né? Eu fui testado já na divisão, né? Fiz 5 rounds com um cara que tem recorde de knockouts, né? Que foi o Derek Lewis. Peguei um cara perigosíssimo, que foi o Jairzinho, né? Consegui derrubar o cara do Oeste, Cut Blade. Acabei perdendo essa luta, obviamente, mas consegui dar várias quedas nele. Então eu fui mais testado do que o Tom Aspinall, né? Basicamente, assim, em todos os sentidos. Fui um cara que fez muitos rounds, né? Então ele precisa ser testado a partir do terceiro round ali para ver como é que ele se comporta, né? E também de costa no chão também.
Yeah, I think, Aspinall is a very technical, and him being as young as he is, adds to the hype. He's very good. He's very technical. He's very good on the stand-up, very good fighting from the top position. We haven't seen him fighting from his back, which is something that, I'm really curious to see how he goes about it. But I don't think he was ever pressured as much as, we would need to see someone being pressured to really understand who they are. I believe that I was tested maybe even more than him. I've already done my 5 rounds. I have faced the top wrestler. I faced top strikers. And here I am, I think that there's still some stuff to be checked with Aspinall. He's a fantastic fighter, but I think there's still some things that we need to see.
Jailton Almeida versus Tom Aspinall. Can you tell us how you feel that fight goes? How does it play out? How do you win?
Jailton Almeida contra Tom Aspinall. Como que você vê essa luta se desenrolando?
Eu sou um cara muito estratégico, né? A gente não viu o Tom Aspinall de costa no chão, né? Não viu ele tomando pressão. E eu sou um cara muito explosivo quando eu entro nas quedas. Vai ser uma luta de grappling, né? Que eu vou fazer com ele para ver como é que ele se comporta no chão, para ver como é que ele se comporta a partir do segundo round, terceiro round. E vai ser uma luta muito, muito, muito bacana com os dois. Que ele é um cara faixa preta de jiu-jitsu, eu também sou faixa preta de jiu-jitsu, né? Então ia ser um show valendo pro público.
Yeah, I'm very strategic. I think that I'm probably more explosive than anybody that he's faced, especially on the grappling side of things. And I think it would probably develop as a grappling fight. He is a BJJ black belt, but I don't think that, there's levels to being a black belt. And I think that I'll be able to take him into deep waters once we get to the grappling side of things.
Do you think he beats Ciryl Gane?
Você acha que ele ganha de Gane?
Acho que sim. Acho que ele ganha de Gane. Gane é um cara que não tá muito interessado em querer lutar mais, né? É um cara que tá virando ator, né? Ator, cineasta. Então, ele tá fazendo muito filme, então não é um cara que tá muito empolgante para poder querer lutar, né? Ele tá ali cumprindo a luta do contrato mesmo, cinturão, que ele não quer lutar pelo cinturão. Então, eu sou um cara eu sou um cara muito ambicioso e eu acho que ele ganha. Acho que ele ganha Ciryl Gane.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Aspinall beats Gane. It seems like Gane has other priorities in his life right now. And once you're fighting at this level, there can be no other priority. If you're fighting at this level, if you're fighting for the heavyweight crown of the UFC, you have to be all in. And it doesn't seem like that's the case for Gane right now. So I don't know, and that's the thing. I get it that he's taking it because, who's not going to take another title fight for the heavyweight belt? But I think, his priorities are in a different place now.
And it seems like you're all in. And over the last few months, we've seen you call out a bunch of different people, try to get the Aspinall fight, try to get a fight against Magomed Ankalaev as you were waiting. Because your last fight was in January, how frustrating have the last few months been for you as it seemed like we were all waiting to see how this Jones situation played out?
Durante esse período, né, desde a tua última luta, você, na mídia social, chamou várias lutas, né? Tu se ofereceu para lutar com Ankalaev, tu pediu Aspinall, pediu Volkov. Como que foi esse período todo, assim? Foi muito frustrante para você demorar tanto para sair a luta?
Ah, claro que sim, né? Na verdade, eu mandei para Kalaev pelo fato de ele queria um cara para lutar, né? Basicamente, eu estava à disposição, baixo um peso tranquilo, né? O UFC me dando a oportunidade de fazer o cinturão, eu baixar um peso tranquilo, né? E eu queria lutar, na verdade, eu queria lutar porque eu não gosto de ficar parado muito tempo. Eu tenho que estar ativo, tenho que estar aparecendo no cenário. Então eu comecei a tirar para todos os lados, graças a Deus eu consegui já minha luta, e agora me preparar para poder mostrar para o mundo que eu mereço minha chance de lutar cinturão.
Yeah, 100%. The thing with Ankalaev is that, he seemed to need an opponent. And as much as I put on a lot of weight, a lot of muscle mass and everything since my days in light heavy, I believe that I can still cut the weight and make light heavy. So I could be a fun fight for the fans against Ankalaev. And I think it would be an interesting thing for the UFC. But overall, it's frustrating to be out of competition for so long. I'm someone that was always very active, and in the UFC, you might get a couple of shots a year to compete and to be in front of your fans. So I really needed something to happen soon.
So just to be clear, you were asking to go down. You would have been ready to go down to 205. You didn't want him to go up to heavyweight.
Então você está dizendo que você baixaria para 93 para lutar com ele. Ele não precisaria subir para pesado para lutar contigo. Ankalaev.
Não, claro que não. Eu conseguia baixar. Na verdade, eu sou um cara que baixa peso muito rápido, né? Se eu focar no treinamento aqui mesmo, fazer uma dietinha equilibrada, eu baixo peso rapidinho, né? Então não seria muito dificultoso de eu baixar de peso, não. Pra lutar com a Kalaev.
Yeah, for sure. The fun part of it would be fighting for the light heavyweight belt too. So I'll do the effort. I can do it. I'm someone that always cut weight fairly easy. The weight that I put on is good lean weight, so I know that I can still cut. With a little more work than before, but it'll still be 100% doable.
Is this a dream of yours? Become heavyweight champion and then get a second belt at light heavyweight?
É um sonho seu de poder, de repente, pegar esse cinturão do peso pesado e depois descer para pegar o de 93?
Ah, claro que sim, né? Se Deus me abençoar com fé em Deus, eu sendo campeão, tenho um total prazer de lutar com o Kalaev na 93. Baixo fácil.
Oh, 100%. If God grants me that opportunity, I would 100% fight for both divisions, and as long as it's on that top level.
Wow. By the way, you and Volkov have been kind of booked to fight each other a couple times. You've prepared to fight him, certainly with one fight on the books. Are you anxious to get your hands on him? Tired of thinking about him and finally getting an opportunity to fight him?
Tu já foi casado com o Volkov algumas vezes, né? E nunca saiu do papel. Uma vez já foi oficializado, mas já aconteceu antes de meio que rolar esse casamento. Tu já estudou muito ele, eu imagino. Como que você se sente de finalmente? Agora a luta tá marcada e ele vai estar na tua frente daqui a alguns meses.
Ah, na verdade, me preparar muito para essa luta, né? Já está estudando já o jogo dele já, né? A gente vai chegar muito forte para essa luta com o Fernand Lopez. Inclusive, a gente vai viajar uma semana antes para poder se adaptar lá em Abu Dhabi, né? Para chegar bem preparado, com gás, para poder fazer. Se for 5 rounds, fazer 5 rounds.
Yeah, 100%. That's the thing. We had the fight booked at one point, and then he asked for it to be a little bit later. That also is part of why I was off for so long, because that fight was supposed to happen a few months ago, but he had some issues, pushed it forward, and eventually we finally got it. But I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be ready to compete as if it was a title fight. I'm going to be able to impose my game, do everything that I've trained for. His game is 100% mapped. We know what he does. We know what he doesn't do, his strengths, his weaknesses. And we were a little concerned about the Abu Dhabi weather and everything. So we're traveling a week ahead just to make sure that we're ready on every aspect of the game.
There is a sentiment right now that the heavyweight division is shallow, that it's not as exciting as it once was, and that it might even be the worst division in the UFC. What do you say to those people who are very critical of the heavyweight division?
Muitos fãs estão comentando, né, falando muito mal da divisão dos pesos pesados, né, comentando que ela é uma das mais fracas que o UFC já teve entre dos pesados e mesmo entre as divisões atuais, que ela é uma das mais rasas. O que você tem para dizer para os fãs que estão com essa percepção do peso pesado hoje?
Rapaz, tipo assim, quando eu luto, né, eu sempre vou buscar a finalização, o nocaute, né? Tipo assim, de minha parte, se for ver o meu cartão de luta, só tem uma decisão, né? E uma derrota. Então, na minha parte na peso pesado, eu tô bem tranquilo, né? Mas tem lutas aí que não são muito emocionantes, claro, mas a categoria tá tendo reformulada, né? Tá chegando novos brasileiros aí também, estão chegando, né? Tá chegando muita gente aí do contender, então pode ser certeza que o show é garantido, o show vai ser garantido.
Yeah, I can understand the frustration of some of the fans. We are in sort of a passing of the torch era. We have a lot of older talent leaving, some new talent coming in. It's gonna take a little while for the thing to settle. So, just be patient, fans. But on my side, on what I have control of, you can count that I'm gonna be fighting for my life. I'm gonna be trying to finish every single fight. In the UFC, I only have one decision win, and I do have the one loss. But every time I go in there, I'm going for the finish.
By the way, your nickname, Maladinho, what does that mean?
O teu apelido, Malhadinho. Qual que é a explicação do que ele, de onde que vem?
Esse apelido, na verdade, era do meu irmão que faleceu, né? O meu irmão mais velho. E o apelido do meu pai era Malhado, né? Como ele era mais velho do que eu, acabou apelidando. E quando eu comecei no jiu-jitsu, o meu sensei, né, lá com a galera, colocou meu apelido de Malhadinho, porque meu pai dava aula de boxe pro meu mestre, na época que tinha a época do Vale Tudo. E acabou pegando, né? Eu acabei abraçando esse nome, né? É bom que eu levo o apelido do meu irmão e o apelido do meu pai, né, basicamente, e o meu apelido pro mundo todo conhecer.
Yeah, so Malhadinho in Portuguese means the small malhado. Malhado is the nickname of his dad, and his older brother who passed away, he used to go by Malhadinho when he was competing. And his dad was actually the boxing coach of his current MMA coaches. So everybody knew Malhado as the boxing coach. And once Jailton started training, jiu-jitsu and started training for Muay Thai, he was the son of Malhado, So he's just super happy that he's bringing to the world not just his father's nickname, but his fallen brother as well.
I love it. And by the way, I don't know who's behind it, but your talents on social media, especially on Twitter, on X, very good lately. So keep it up.
Ele não sabe como é que você está organizando isso, mas que tem que te dar os parabéns pelo trabalho que está sendo feito no Twitter, porque tá muito bacana, tá muito acima da média.
Valeu. Porque fala, graças a Deus, a galera trabalha pra mim no meu Instagram, no meu Twitter, né? A galera tá trabalhando certo e tem que vender, né? A gente tem que se vender, porque se a gente não se vender, a gente não custa nada, né? Então, quem sabe aí, a gente trabalhando nessa mídia toda, aparece um shot aí pela frente.
Yeah, no, for sure. I have very good people behind me. They're helping me a lot with the social media and many, many other things. And that's the thing. Like, we gotta sell our fights. We gotta sell ourselves, because if we're not selling, then our price goes down. So we gotta be up there and, just being on people's faces and not letting people forget us as much as we can.
Parabéns on getting the big fight. Obrigado. Thank you very much.
Obrigado.
And good luck on October.
Murro na cabeça, falei.
Try saying murro na cabeça.
Murro na cabeça. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Is smashing someone's head. Like, in the literal thing would be a punch to the head, which is something they say there in Bahia.
Okay. About me?
No, in general.
Bahia.
Okay.
Thiago,
they would say Bahia is the state, so they would say Bahia is a punch to the face.
Okay, I love it. Okay, so Murro na cabeça, October 25th, Jailton Almeida against Alexander Volkov. Good luck to you, Jailton. Thank you so much, and thank you, Thiago.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro.
Guys.
Bye-bye. There he is. Maldinho, the great Jailton Almeida, 22-3 on some kind of run as of late. He's won his last two in a row. And, he did have that loss that set him back. That was against Curtis Blades. But since then, most recently, the win over Sergey Spivak, and prior to that, the win over Alexander Romanov, both first-round stoppages. And prior to the Blades loss, which was somewhat shocking, because if memory serves me correct, I think he was a big favorite going into that fight. Am I wrong about that? I feel like he was a big favorite. He had a win over Derek Lewis, win over Jairzinho Rosenstrike, win over Shamil Abdurakhimov, win over Anton Turkalj, win over Parker Porter. I mean, he was on his last loss prior to that one was, when was it? 2018. He would have 100% gotten the title shot by now had he not suffered that setback. But that's 100% a number one contender fight. And an Almeida versus Aspinall fight, I think, would be super interesting. Just the kind of fight. Put that one, if they both win, obviously, if they both win on October 25th, put that one in March at the O2. What do you say? Or better yet, at the Co-op Live in March. That would be great, especially if they both get a stoppage, as they're known to do. He's ranked 5th, 8 career wins via KO, 13 via sub, just one via decision. 16 first-round stoppages in his career. 6 in the UFC alone. Already joint 6 for most subs, submission wins in UFC heavyweight history. Currently joint first with Spivak for most submission wins of active UFC heavyweights. Let's go. Almeida, Volkov, Almeida, Aspinall. That's the one. That's the one that I think we're all looking forward to if things work out a certain way. Now, later in the program, we'll be joined by Fernand Lopez, the head coach for one Ciryl Gane. He will talk about the opportunity and interesting stuff there from Mr. Almeida regarding Gane maybe being preoccupied with different things these days. So let us see. In a few minutes, we're going to be joined by the great Rory MacDonald. I'm looking forward to talking to him. It has been a minute since we last spoke to him. Like I said, 3-4 years, something like that. In case you are new to the game, let me remind you that at one time, Rory MacDonald was one of the best fighters in the world. And most people, including myself, thought that at some point, especially after his friend and teammate George St. Pierre retired, that he would be a UFC champion. 23-10-1, former Bellator welterweight champion, former King of the Cage lightweight champion, inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame for his fight against Robbie Lawler, UFC 189, the second fight against Robbie Lawler. Obviously, that fight was for the welterweight title. He did not win that fight, but it did produce one of the greatest fights of all time and one of the greatest photos of all time. Also fought for the Bellator middleweight title. 7 career wins via knockout, 9 via submission, 7 via decision, 9-4 in the UFC, 3-2-1 in Bellator, 2-4 in PFL. That was his last stop. Career wins over the likes of Tyron Woodley, BJ Penn, Nathan Diaz, Damian Maia, Jake Ellenberger, Paul Daly, Douglas Lima, just to name a few. Made his UFC debut January 11, 2010 in Fairfax, Virginia, 20 years young at the time, and defeated the 35-year-old Mike the Joker Gaiman. Does that mean Mike Gaiman is 50 now? If he was 35 in 2010, I think that's what it means. Won via first-round armbar. And then in his second fight, I do believe, it was UFC 115 against Carlos Condit. He was seconds away from winning that fight, and Carlos Condit pulled one out of his back pocket. But he was able to bounce back after that. He was just 20. He was a kid. He was a neophyte. I remember that Fairfax card because it was on a Saturday. No, I think it was actually on a Monday. Is it possible it was on a Monday? January 11, 2010. If memory serves me correct, it was on a Monday. What day of the week? It was a Monday. Yes. And the next day, why the hell was that fight card on a Monday? And the next day, the UFC announced that they had cut this deal with the Abu Dhabi government to sell 10% of the company to them. January 12th, 2010, UFC Abu Dhabi. They announced that UFC 112 would take place in Abu Dhabi. January 2010. UFC sold to Abu Dhabi. January 12th. MMA fighting. What a memory. UFC has announced that Flash Entertainment, a wholly owned subsidiary of the government of the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, has purchased 10% stake in Zuffa, the parent company of the Ultimate Fighting Championship and World Extreme Cage Fighting. Quote, over the past few years, we have built a relationship with all levels of the Flash organization, UFC Chairman and CEO Lorenzo Fertitta said. They share our vision, passion, and enthusiasm for the UFC. We are confident that this partnership will accelerate the worldwide growth of the UFC. Prior to this transaction, Fertitta owned 45% of the UFC. His brother Frank owned another 45%, and UFC President Dana White owned the final 10%. As a result of the sale, it will dilute all existing owners proportionally, which means Fertitta brothers now each own 40.5. Abu Dhabi owns 10. White owns 9. That was the next day. I remember this. Why was that fight card on a Monday? I have no idea. But anyway, as I said at the top, great to see Rory back because he last fought in August of 2022 in the PFL, lost to Delano Taylor, welterweight tournament semifinal. I feel like it was around the time. It was when he fought John Fitch in 2019, fought him to a draw, started to speak about losing his love, his passion for the game, but he did stick around for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more fights before sailing off into the sunset almost exactly 3 years ago, August of 2022, and pretty much disappeared for all intents and purposes from the MMA landscape. But as I said, reemerged in May, and it felt longer than 3 years, to be honest, reemerged in May at that event in Montreal, and now starting to see him do more on his YouTube channel, on social media, training with the likes of Wonderboy. And so I thought it would be a great time to reconnect with the Red King himself. He is kind enough to join us. Let us say hello once again, for the first time in a long time, to Rory MacDonald. There he is. Rory.
Hey, Ariel.
How are you? It's good to talk to you again. Long time no speak.
I know. It's nice speaking with you again on your show.
Yes. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. I really appreciate it. And like I've said a few times now, man, you just kind of reemerged, I feel like, at that Montreal event in May. And it was so nice to see you back in the mix. And so let me just ask you, where have you been the last 3 years? Because at least to me, from an MMA perspective, it felt like you just kind of disappeared from the sport.
Yeah, I definitely did. I think I was just disappointed that I didn't accomplish my goals, and I think I was just a little burnt out of the sport and just needed that time away, I think, and had other interests that I wanted to pursue, and that's basically what I did. Is I just kind of like cut ties with martial arts for a while, and then just went down and explored some different interests of mine.
When you did that, when you cut ties, like, did you stop watching the sport? Did you stop following it? Like, was it a cold turkey thing?
Yeah, pretty much, actually. I didn't watch anything, didn't really keep up to date much. I wasn't training for at least a year or so, I'd probably say. Then I got back in the gym and training, and watching it shortly in small amounts. But yeah.
Why do you think that happened? Like, why did it feel like you needed that break?
I think the main reason was just being burned out about it, just and disappointment of just like how things went, and I think a mixture of both of that, just being burnt out and not having the drive and interest anymore, and then disappointment about just not accomplishing things. But I'm grateful for it, because the last 3 years have given me a lot of time to do a lot of self work and look internally. Think about, reminisce about of memories and things like that. It was really good for me.
Did you have I'm just wondering, did you have any sort of like animosity toward the sport, like where you needed that break because you just didn't love it the way in which you did in the past?
I didn't have animosity, just a little disappointment in myself, I would say.
Okay.
And just, fatigued of just being in it for so long since I was a teenager. I started fighting pro when I was 16, and at 16, well, even before that, my goal was to be world champion and to be the best. So, it was a bit of a long road, and yeah.
And when you said you didn't train for a year, does that mean like no exercise whatsoever, or just no martial arts?
No martial arts. So I was like lifting and stuff, and still doing fitness a bit, but no martial arts at all. And I was probably over a year, to be honest, probably closer to 2.
Wow. And so like that decision to say, okay, first day I'm gonna go back. Like, how do you get to that point? Do you remember what went into that to say I'm gonna start training a little bit again?
Yeah, I think I tried once or twice and it didn't really stick. And, I was feeling stiff and gross and, just wasn't feeling it. And then my kids were like really wanting to go do jujitsu, and they motivated me seeing them do jujitsu. I was like, you know what? I love this stuff.
Wow.
So yeah, I started going back to a friend's jujitsu club, 450 here in Laval. And so, that was kind of the beginning journey coming back into the martial arts world. And slowly, God just opened more and more doors and made a social media again for it and started doing instructionals and UFC. I'm getting invited to UFC events and all these different opportunities. So, God has seemed to open up doors where there wasn't any.
Did you delete your social media for a moment?
Yeah, I think it was like 3 years.
Why'd you do that?
Just to cut ties and get away from it all,
Why did it have to be so drastic? Like, why could you just like delete the app and log off, but not delete the whole thing and disappear on us?
I don't know. I just needed it, I guess.
Okay. It felt good to do that.
Yeah, it did. Like a fresh start, I guess.
And so when your kids said they wanted to start training and you saw them train, was it because they saw their dad in videos and was it just something that they picked up on their own? How did that happen? Because it wasn't a part of your life at the time.
Yeah, no, we weren't really involved in it. Weren't watching fights or anything like that. Maybe my daughter had asked about it or something, but I saw that my friend was doing kids classes, and I think I brought it up to them, and they were interested. So they liked it. My daughter was a killer.
Wow.
So yeah, it was fun.
Is she still doing it?
No, she's it's been a while, but we'll get her back into it more consistently.
Okay.
Doing other stuff.
And so when you went to that event in Montreal, prior to that, when was the last time you went to a UFC event?
Oh, probably when I fought Stephen Thompson.
Wow. That last fight.
Yeah.
Damn.
I think so.
That interview got me in a lot of trouble. You remember that, right?
Which one? Refresh my memory.
When you said that you were going to fight out your contract.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
Yes, I do remember.
You said you were going to fight out your contract, and you felt disrespected by the contract, and then I got fired from Fox the next day. Crazy
I'm
time.
sorry, man.
No, it's okay. It's okay. No regrets. It's a crazy time. It's a crazy business. It still is, Rory.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Like, did they call you? Did they say we want you? Like, how did you reemerge? Because it was so nice to see you and George and David Loiseau and Valerie. But the olive branch or whatever you want to call it to bring you to that event, how did that come about?
Yeah, so I had worked with the UFC Canada marketing team or promotional team. I don't know what exactly the branch is called, but basically they reached out to me. Their UFC's coming to Montreal. We would like you to be a part of it in whatever way, and the Q&A and things like that. So I was stewing on it for a bit, and I was talking to my wife about it, and I was like, you know what, let's do it. So it was another open door, and it seems like that's the road I'm on now. So
why were you stewing on it?
I don't know. I guess I don't know. I was nervous about it, I guess, to get back in front of people on a stage and stuff. Something about it was just nerve-wracking. Was I ready to get back into that life, I guess?
How did it feel being there?
It felt great. It felt refreshing. Like I missed it a bit, unknowingly.
Did it feel like you were back home? Like, did it feel like a comforting feeling?
Yeah. I had a lot of great, I was reminiscing, being backstage at weigh-ins, and I even had my kids with me, my wife, and it was really cool. It was a cool moment, and just took me back to those moments that I was back there getting ready to get on stage for weigh-ins and, fight week and all that.
Because I would imagine when you were fighting that fight against Wonder Boy and prior to that, your kids weren't around, right? I don't even know if your wife ever went.
My daughter was born like, I want to say like a month or a month and a half after that fight, actually.
Oh, wow.
I was talking to Steven in his training camp when I was over there. I was like, yeah, like my daughter was like the same, like she was born like right after we fought. Like it's like,
wow,
it's almost like an anniversary. Yeah, it's just funny.
And so when you went to the event the next day, what was it like to feel that energy, to see the fights? You know, you fought there for so many years. What did that do to you?
It was amazing. It was UFC really knows how to put on an amazing event. I still think they put on the best event in the world. Even outside of MMA, they just know how to do it. They know how to put on a great show. The fights were fantastic, and the UFC is amazing with their organization. It just runs so smooth. Everybody's so professional, and the people are great. You know, behind the scenes, they're so generous and kind. So it was really a pleasure. It was fun.
Did you happen to run into Dana?
I didn't. No.
Okay. Would you have talked to him if you saw him?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't hold any bad blood on my end. It's you know, it's water under the bridge. You know, the business had to be done on both sides. That's okay. We never exited it with any bad words or harsh words. It was professional.
Of course. Yeah.
There wasn't any animosity there.
For sure. When you left the event and went home that night, went to bed, woke up the next day, did you feel anything different? Like, did that get your juices flowing? Did that create an itch? What did it do anything to you?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's so cool. Like, you know, seeing the fighters walk out. I was right up close to them, and you know, being that close and watching my friend Eamon just be in a war with Jose Aldo and remembering those feelings is definitely it definitely reminds me of those times and ignites that flame, that spark. So, and even before that, I went and cornered a friend at his title fight here in Samurai. It was like a week before or something like that, and that was very motivational being in that atmosphere also.
Wow. Was that your first time cornering someone since the layoff?
I would say so, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were in the locker room, you felt that energy, those nerves.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so fun. It was nice.
Did the invitation to join Wonder Boy's camp come after all of this, or was that already in the works?
No, he reached out on social media. I think he had saw that I did like kind of like a video with what is it again? I'm slipping the name. Jeff. We did like a collaboration on like a video for his YouTube.
Okay.
And Wonder Boy saw it because he follows him as well. And I think it's MMA Shredded. And anyway, that's how he was like, "Oh, Rory's back." And so he reached out. He was like, "Hey, do you want to come help me train for my fight?" I'm like, "Yeah, for sure. That'd be so fun."
Wow. How long were you there for?
Yeah. Just a week. I would have stayed longer. It just because it was last minute. I had so many other plans, and I was super busy at the time.
What was it like to be a part of a training camp like that for a UFC fight with a guy you know, big time fight for him? Like, just to be in that environment, what was that like for a week?
It was very motivational also.
Okay.
So that was fun. I had a great time. It was nice to be back in that zone where you're getting ready and you're trying to harden the body and mind, preparing for something like that. So it was fun to be a part of, for sure.
So let's not beat around the bush anymore here. Are you coming back, Rory? Is that what's happening here?
I don't know, but I'm back in the gym full time.
Oh, wow.
It's got me in the gym, loving training again. That's for sure. So I don't know what it'll lead to, but I'm enjoying my time in martial arts again. It just feels good.
And when you say full time, what does that mean? Like you're there every day?
Yeah. I'm like, training twice a day, 3 times a day.
Wow.
Just having fun with it.
So you're not just like a dad trying to stay in shape. 3 times a day is a different level.
Well, yeah, it is. It is more than just staying in shape for sure. I'm trying to improve myself and stuff. So, but there's nothing for sure. I'm just having fun at this point, and where I stand is, this last few years, I'm letting God just take the direction in my life, and where the doors open and if there's opportunities, and I'm just going down that path and letting my faith in God lead the way.
Do you want to fight again?
Yeah, there's the fire is always there. It's always part of me. I feel like that was put inside me from an early age, that competition and the love for martial arts. So that never really died. When I left, even when I was burnt out, I carry that edge with me. Even though, I'm at peace and everything, and like, I'm happy, I'm in a much better life than what I was when I was in the UFC and in my career. But I still have that part of me that, I think I'll carry for all my life.
You say the fire never dies, but my impression just from afar was that it felt like it did kind of extinguish towards the end there. Like it did feel like you didn't have the love for it anymore. Like you didn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Is that inaccurate?
Yeah. No, for sure. Like I was, like I said, I was just burned out. And when you're just tired of something, doing something for so long and not seeing results, and, just, I don't know, a lot of things that just didn't go your way, that you get disappointed about, I guess, just carries a heaviness about it. But time sometimes can heal.
I felt like the turning point was the John Fitch fight, and you even had 8 fights after that, and the PFL run and all that. You remember when you were on the microphone after that fight? It felt like you were speaking about this for the first time on a big stage. Do you think, in retrospect, that you stuck around? Like you probably should have taken a break then?
I definitely should have taken shorter breaks in between, like mental refresher breaks, and not. That's the thing. I never let go mentally at all throughout my career, and I think that was an issue that I've learned being away from the sport now. But I think it was even before that. It was after the Lima fight, my first one with Douglas Lima. I think taking all that damage, and I was just talking about this with some friends actually. I think making better money, and I think that was a distraction, and the lifestyle that comes with it, and just adjusting to that. So I think I just needed to have some, I had to grow up and adjust to that. But it definitely started after the Lima fight, where I just kind of lost my passion, and I would have mixed results in my fights after that, I find.
The Marvin Hagler line about hard to wake up in the morning when you're sleeping in silk pajamas type of thing.
Yeah. It's easier to like just not take a day off, when you're on your own boss, and you've got comfort around you. And it was awkward. It was, well, not awkward, but it was interesting timing. I had a new family that was, unplanned, and I didn't have a plan for that. It was like suddenly I'm a family man, and then my faith turned around big time, and I was navigating that, and then all this money pouring in. It was a lot to handle at the time for me, I think.
Now that you're back in the mix, do you watch MMA? Do you follow it? Do you find yourself more interested in it?
Yeah. I don't watch every fight or anything like that, but I definitely watch and stay somewhat up to date. I am interested. Yeah.
And you're doing tutorials now on your YouTube page.
Yeah, that's been fun with BJJ Fanatics. Those guys are been amazing, and it's been fun working with them.
Like, you're fully immersed now.
Yeah, I'm back in the martial arts world.
By the way, when they inducted you and Robbie into the Hall of Fame, the UFC 189 fight, which I still have right over here. Where is it? You see it? Oh yeah, there it is. You see it? You're still here on my desk, Rory. You're still here with me.
No, you didn't forget me.
No, you left us, but I didn't leave you. Did you not go to that? If my memory serves me correct, were you not there?
Yeah, they invited me. They were, and I was stewing on that too. My wife was telling me, you should go. But it was too fresh. It was right after I retired, and I was being a bit of a baby, I think.
Why wouldn't you go?
I don't know. It's just felt like a loser at that point. You know, I lost that fight. What am I going to go accept an award for losing a fight? So I don't know. I think I was just being a little. It was just fresh. The retirement was fresh.
Do you regret that? Do you wish you would have gone?
Yeah, I think I should have. You know, I think it would have been nice to be alongside Robbie. We both, you know, dug deep in that. I think it would have been the right thing to do, looking back.
And so, do you have different feelings towards that fight now? It's like some people say it's their favorite fight ever, one of the greatest fights ever. I know you say you lost, and you fell short of your goal, but the way it's beloved and revered, can you look at it differently now?
Oh, it was a great lesson. You know, taught me so much about myself and martial arts and how to compete in that kind of environment. So I don't have any bad feelings at all, and I'm glad it came out the way it did. I was actually just talking to friends about this also. It was I think it was meant to be that I didn't win that fight. I don't think it would have been any good for me with where I was at my life at that point to carry that. I don't think I was mature enough.
Really?
Yeah, no, I definitely wasn't. But the choices I was making, definitely not.
Wow.
So, I'm happy with my personal growth. But obviously, you know, it would have been nice to have that.
It's fascinating to hear that juxtaposition, because you say on the one hand you were disappointed that you didn't meet your ultimate goal, but on the other hand, when you were that close to meeting it, you say it was for the better that you didn't win that fight.
Yeah, I think so. I think you know, getting that kind of spotlight and where I was at my life at that particular time, I don't think it would have been good for me. Looking back, I think it all happened for a reason, and I had some growth to do, and I'm happy to say that I've come a long way since then.
Does being a champion motivate you at all? Like, if you did come back, would it be to finally win that belt, or would it be for other reasons?
I have no idea right now. I'm just enjoying myself. There's no pressure to accomplish anything at this point. I'm just enjoying myself and being back in the MMA world.
How do you spend your time? Like, what like, other than training and stuff, what do you do day to day?
Yeah, so I had an Airbnb for a couple years. I was really interested in having an Airbnb. I loved being up in nature, so I had like a chalet here in Quebec. We did really well. It was like the top 5% of homes, so that was taking up a lot of time. But ended up losing my itch for that, and we just sold it. So
no,
it's nice to remove it.
Oh, we lost you briefly.
You got me?
Yeah, you're back now. You said you sold it?
Yeah, so we sold it. So, you know, most of my time was going towards that. That freed up my time. So now I just figured, you know what? I got all this free time again. Let me just dedicate it to training. So I'm here training full time.
Do you go back to TriStar at all?
Yeah, I was there last week. I think just once, because I was in Toronto the other half of the week. But yeah, I still go to TriStar.
Incredible. So if you were to say right now, what are you leaning towards? Do you think you'll fight again?
I don't know.
Too soon.
I'm just keeping an open mind.
What does your family think of this?
I don't know. I've only talked to her about my wife. She says do it, you know.
She's supportive. She's not saying no way?
She's used to me just doing whatever I want.
Okay.
So.
And I'm sure there's a part of you that probably wants to have your kids see you fight, maybe, no?
I mean, that would be pretty cool. I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Have you shown them any of your fights now that they're older?
I think a little bit. They've seen a bit. I don't like we don't talk about it often. But my son has all my trophies and stuff in his room, so he loves it.
That's
But
incredible.
it's not. I don't even know if he's watched that many of my fights or not. He definitely asks me now and again, though.
You're the same age that George was when he came back.
No way.
Yeah.
After his ACL.
After and there you are at the event. This was after the break, when he fought Johnny Hendricks, and then he came back and fought Michael Bisping.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
So right now you're how old are you now? 36?
Yeah, I just turned 36.
Yeah, so he was the same age. Oh yeah, you turned on July 22nd. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
So there's I don't know, something in this. I don't know. Maybe there's something there. I'm not trying to pressure you or anything, but I feel like something's brewing here.
Yeah, a couple people have said that to me.
But you're just gonna you're not gonna say like, oh, I'm gonna make a decision. You're just letting que sera sera, as they say.
Yeah, I'm going with the flow a little bit and just one step at a time. I'm not gonna get too crazy and start, saying things I regret saying. Just having fun training. Having fun training.
Okay, I'll leave you on this. There's a bunch of new fans since you last fought in the UFC, right? As you know, the sport is in a much different place.
Yeah.
If someone is watching this and says, "Okay, let me see Rory at his prime, like at his best," what's the fight that you recommend? What's your favorite fight from that UFC run that you recommend people check out?
You know what? For UFC, I think my favorite fight was against Paul Daly.
Yeah.
I think I really came out. I prepared really good for that fight. Everything went to plan. So that was in Bellator. But everyone loves the Robbie fight. So probably check that one out. My fight with BJ Penn or Damian Maia. I don't know.
That's a good list. That's a good list. This was very unexpected, but warms my heart. Really great to see you back in the mix. I thought the account, by the way, was fake. The Instagram account. I thought it was someone just pretending to be you. So
you're not the only one. Yeah,
because it just kind of showed up with like a very few followers that weekend. And I was like, well, this is not him. But then I searched for you, and there was no other account. So I was like, it does actually seem like him to have deleted the old one. And
yeah, for sure.
And start a new one. So happy to see you back. So happy to see you happy. So happy that you were at that event. It was the highlight for me of the weekend to see you back on that stage with everyone else. So well done. And it's just great to see you loving the sport again and feeling good about your place in the sport, because you're a legend and a Hall of Famer, if you ask me. That fight, aside, what you did was incredible as a UFC fighter, a Bellator fighter, PFL fighter. So thank you so much, Rory. Great to reconnect with you. All the best to you and your family, and maybe, hopefully, down the line we get to see you again. That would be tremendous.
I appreciate it, Ariel. You're the man. Thanks a lot.
All the best. There he is, the great Rory MacDonald. So nice to have him back on the show. So nice to hear from him again. One of the good guys in the game, and he listed a few of those fights that I highly recommend you checking out. And I love the fact that he feels so much better about the Robbie Lawler fight, which obviously was an all-time classic. Paul Daly fight, Nate Diaz fight. The Nate Diaz fight felt like a coming out party. Nate Diaz fight, UFC 129 in Toronto at the Sky Dome. Went on an incredible run there. Beat Nate Diaz, beat Mike Pyle, beat Shea Mills, beat BJ Penn, annihilated BJ Penn, and then beat Jake Ellenberger en route to the Robbie Lawler fight at UFC 167, which he lost. Then beat Damian Maia, then beat Tyron Woodley, then beat Tarek Saffiedine. This is not a hot take. Rory MacDonald is a Hall of Famer, in my opinion. I don't care that he never won a belt. He is a Hall of Famer. That run right there was tremendous. The Nate Diaz fight, he should have mentioned the Nate Diaz fight. UFC 129, Nate Diaz fight. He was suplexing him all over the place. At 170 pounds, that was a dominant performance. And Nate eventually moved back down to 155 because it was better for him at the time. But man, that was a very special time. 2010, 2011, 2012. Shout out to his boy Mike Ricci as well from NDG. They were great friends doing big things for the Montreal scene. We need more Canadian stars like Rory MacDonald and Mike Ricci and Olivier Aubin-Mercier, and of course the great GSP. But really, really nice. I really enjoyed that. That warmed my heart. The Red King, Rory MacDonald. What a guy. I feel like we're going to see him back. Not trying to put any pressure on him, but I feel like we're going to see him back. All right, let's move along. We'll keep an eye on that story. Back to the heavyweight division, back to the title fight on October the 25th in Abu Dhabi. It's a massive one. It's Tom Aspinall defending undisputed gold for the very first time, even though I think it should have been this way for a while, up against the Frenchman Ciryl Gane, looking to finally climb that mountain, finally get that belt, finally become undisputed champion. The man who has been by his side throughout the entirety of his MMA career, who has been by his side throughout all those title fights, all those big moments in the UFC, is our next and final guest of the day. He is Fernand Lopez. He's kind enough to join us. Let us go all the way to Paris and say hello to Fernand. Thank you, Fernand, for joining us. I appreciate it. How are you, my friend?
I'm fine. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing really well. Thank you. It's great to have you on, and this is a big opportunity, obviously, for you and Ciryl. Let's start there if we can. Can I ask just your take on the last few months? Because I feel like you guys were in limbo. If John comes back, you're not getting a title shot. He doesn't come back, you're getting a title shot. Has this been frustrated for you and the team because everyone was kind of up in the air?
No, at all. We wasn't frustrated because we know that's the game. That's the game. You need to be prepared for that, and you just need to keep training and be ready. That's it. That's what we was doing.
So if John would have come back and fought Tom, what do you think Ciryl would have done?
Well, that's the game, and we'll, after that, the matchmaking will have set something up and try to give us anyway. You have to fight at some point, so you just have to wait and make sure that you're ready every time. That's it.
Were you holding out hope that it was going to be a title shot? Is that what you wanted?
I was pushing. I mean, to be honest with you, it's been very long waiting with the matchmaking, and my role as an agent was to push. Push. So I was there. That was like me harassing them. There was no really no, but there was just Dana waiting to see likely what John Jones will do, and so we was there. We was there waiting and just being on shape and being ready that they can call us on any time.
I thought the UFC got it right. This was the fight to make. There's obviously a history between Tom and Ciryl that dates back several years. But there are some people, as you know, who said, no, he's gotten a couple of shots already. It should have gone to someone else. What do you say to those people who were critical of this matchup, this decision?
Also, that's the game. I mean, the entertainment is to have some people liking and some they don't like. It's subjective matter. I mean, like, you do whatever you feel like is good for you. I don't think there's. I mean, he's number one, and number one is number one, and you can twist that and move that around and try to do different things. But that's the game. When you are number one, you should be the challenger, and I think this is the good place.
Yes. His last appearance, his last fight was against Alexander Volkov in December. How did you feel about that fight, and in particular, Ciryl's performance in that fight?
Obviously, we were disappointed about that fight. Remember that even Ciryl the first, he was very disappointed. That's why he wanted to leave the cage, because he was so mad of the situation that he just, as soon as the fight started, he threw a kick, and then he felt like his feet was broken and couldn't do nothing on that, and so he was just fighting to try to win the fight, regardless of the injuries. So he was very disappointed in first, and then all the team we were disappointed. But again, he managed to have the victory, and we will not. I mean, like you take whatever W that you can have.
Yeah, he broke a few toes in that fight, right?
3 of them, yeah.
Yeah, 3 of them. And so how is his foot feeling now? Is he fully healed?
Yes, he's fine. He's bouncing around.
Okay. Did he need to take a long period off to fully heal again?
Yes, yes, because I mean, like all your weight is on your step. Any step that you made is it can remind you that you can you cannot you can you just so you just have to wait and have the therapy and make sure that everything get fixed.
I have to say, Fernand, I see him playing basketball. I see him playing football. I get worried. He's a big guy. He's playing all these sports. I get worried. He's such a, he's a prize fighter. Do you get nervous when you see him playing these sports?
Welcome in my situation, bro. I'm crying every time. Like I'm fighting with all the team, all the crew. That please stop this. Stop this. I can't anymore because every time that is out for the football or whatever he's doing, I'm really worried. So yeah, but unfortunately, fortunately for his health, I mean, like he like to do that. He like he's a John, he's a sportman, so he like to do all of this stuff. But now that we have a date, we have an announcement, he can focus only on fighting.
Okay, so now that you have your assignment, October 25th, no more other sports, no more basketball, no more football, no nothing, not allowed.
Nothing, no.
And he's going hard, like he's dunking. He's not taking it lightly, right?
Yeah, yeah. Everything that he's doing with with every. I mean, he's giving everything, but now he can just. I mean, he will just be focusing on MMA and probably some weekend play some golf or some shooting because he like to shoot that come him down, don't make him come down. So yeah.
When you think about this matchup against Tom, I'm sure you've thought about it for some time now. How do you beat Tom Aspinall? He's looked so good. He's looked so dominant. His fights are so quick. In your opinion, how do you beat this man?
Let me turn you back the question. Do you remember when Ciryl was going to fight Francis?
Yes.
Okay. The question was, how do you beat Ciryl? Everyone was asking, how do you beat this man? Because he knows everything. He's very good on everything. He's he's well-rounded. I mean, no one in the division was hitting the heel hook, guillotine, arm triangle, everything. He was training with a twister, everything. Everyone was saying how good it is and how can they stop him. And that the same thing happened with Francis. When Francis was fighting Stipe for the first time, everyone was like, who can stop Francis? Till you get to the cage and then you figure out that there's someone before you that have a little bit experience, is been there before, seen that before, and that's what is calm. It's know what is coming. So on 25th, we'll figure out.
And I totally understand what you're saying, but just in terms of like Tom, the challenge, the puzzle that is Tom, when you see him, it doesn't seem like there are a lot of weaknesses, unless, I'm not a coach. I'm not an expert like you. What do you see?
What I'm seeing is that I think Tom is a good fighter. Don't get me wrong. He's one of the best. If he's not, he's one of the best. But I just want to let you know that people, they tend to overreact and overrate someone very quickly, and they don't measure that. Okay, let's check, really check. You guys are telling us that this guy was doing BGG very long time when he was teenager. So during all this time, what title did he get on the BGG or grappling? Did he won any ADCC? What did he? What happened? So I think that we need to be a little bit careful of what you're saying. And obviously, you know that I will not tell you right now what I'm saying as a whole. What I just know is that if we are taking this fight, we are pretty sure that, Ciryl can pull this out because it's a hard fight, but I think Ciryl have what it takes.
And you've had to prepare for Tom in the past, right? Because a fight of yours back in October of 2020, Alan Baudot fought him, right? And you were in his corner.
Yes.
Would you say Tom has improved a lot since then?
Yeah, a lot, obviously, a lot. But that was different thing, different time. And the the opposition wasn't the same thing, and he made the good choice. He showed that he was, how to say, very smart, because he could have stayed on the feet and boxed with Alain Boudou, but as soon as he felt that Alain Boudou was throwing kind of elbows around everything, throwing like a mad, he just level change, brought him down and finished him. So yeah, I can tell that he's a smart guy and he have a good fight IQ. And I expect very hard opposition. But again, what I'm saying is that I'm not sure that everything that people tend to list as strength, I'm not sure that that's strength. When you get to the title, you need a little bit more experience. You need, I think that he will know, he will find out when, no matter what happened in the octagon, he will feel the difference. He will know what we're talking about when you get there and then you're doing your title for the first time. It's not easy.
I think during that trip to Fight Island, like you obviously interacted with Tom, right? And Ciryl interacted with Tom. You were there with his dad as well. What do you remember from that?
Yeah, I mean, I remember they were so cool. I was like, genuinely, I find Tom Aspinall very cool that time. His dad was so respectful man and very kind. And when we met, I think that we met another time in New York. I don't remember the place. And we was laughing together. And the dad was saying that I hope this fight will happen the later than we can, so we can make more money. It was kind of respectful and very friendly situation. That's what I find kind of weird, the attitude of Tom now for Ciryl. Like it seems a little bit. We are like, it's kind of annoying with whining around saying that Ciryl dug him and this and that. Like everyone dug him. He's walking around with a dog. I mean, it's kind of annoying because generally when we met him, the few times that we meet with them, with the family, everything was so respectful and smooth. I mean, even in Paris, the guy decided to fly from London by himself. He decided by his own to come in Paris and challenge Ciryl. Okay, arrived there, and then no one of the UFC asked us if we want Tom to get in the cage. No one. I mean, everything was smooth. And then you have someone cage side and will say to you, well, I want to fight you. Well, can you call me out? Why should I do that? So Ciryl didn't call him out. Obviously, he's looking forward and he's trying to think about how to make better on his career. So he was looking forward to try to fight with maybe John Jones. But because at that time, I think that Tom was fifth in the ranking, something like that. And that very, very night where Tom was saying that he was kind of frustrated because he didn't have Ciryl calling him out. At the same night, you can see them with Bisping, with Ciryl hanging around in after party. There was playing. Everything was very friendly. So I don't know if he's pretending or what he's doing, but I find that very annoying. I can understand what John Jones is saying, that this sounds annoying to come back and try to tease people. I mean, the fight will happen. It's happening. So let's just come down. We'll be having this fight, Yeah.
To the best of your knowledge, because he was talking about trying to make the fight happen, was it ever in the works? Was it ever offered to you guys? Was the UFC ever saying we want to make this fight happen and you guys were interested in something else?
Not whatsoever. I mean, this is something that I'm kind of wondering. Do you guys, journalists, media, can you ask to Dana White, enter, Mick, whatever can you talk with matchmaking and just make sure that people stop lying out there? Because this is a totally lie. Like, matchmaking are not made in the cash side. Thankfully, it's not happening. It's not, I cannot just, no one, like now, Almeida cannot come around the cage of Tom Aspinall and say, Tom, I'm the next. And then if Tom do not answer to the call out, then Tom be called a dog because he avoid that fight. That does not make sense. If you want to make a fight, you talk with your manager talk with the matchmaking. Me, as an agent, I never received, no one never mentioned Thomas Aspinall name before the Manchester, which happened during a moving shooting that we had the permission from UFC. We asked to UFC, what is the frame of time where we can have a film shooting for Ciryl and there will not be a fight? And they say, okay, this is your frame time. We went there, we had that movie, we signed the contract with a lot of money on the table. We signed the contract, and we have to go till we have to deliver when we sign the contract. So we have the UFC coming back, Fernand. So Hunter called me and said, Fernand, I have this situation. I have the opportunity for Ciryl to fight in July, Manchester. Will you take a fight? I'm like, no problem. We can take a fight, but you will have to deal with the Netflix people and see what you can work out with them. And so he said, leave that with me. So he had a dinner with Ted, I think the number one of the Netflix. They had that chat, and then Hunter went back to me and said to me, it's not happening because that would cost a lot of money to cancel everything or to rebook the filming. That's it. So that means 0 time. We didn't have 0 back down fight with Thomas Aspinall. This needs to stop. So you need to go there and ask to matchmaking, have you ever contacted Fernand Lopez for this, or do you ever contact Ciryl Gane for this? And you will know, you have the answers. This is what missing in the MMA media. There's a lot of speculation, but not any truth, not any verification.
And I understand and appreciate that. That's why I wanted to have you on the program to talk about all of this. So would it be fair to say that Ciryl shares your sentiment that, you said it's a bit annoying. Does he find it all very annoying as well?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. He's disappointed because this is a guy that when they meet, they was kind of friendly, they were kind of respectful, and he feel he's kind of dishonest to just be there whining and saying, well, you know what, this guy was trying to fight him, and then let me ask you something. Do you remember that when Tom Aspinall become interim champ, Ciryl called him out and said to you, I'm available. What was the answer of Tom Aspinall? He said, no, because you snowballed me in Paris, you will fight first Jailton Almeida. So Tom substituted Dana White and become the matchmaker to try to fix the match between Almeida and Ciryl Gane. And no one called Tom Aspinall like a dog, So this is, I don't understand how you can have double standards. Sometimes when it's Ciryl is trying to think about having a better fight, you don't understand it. But when Ciryl come to you and say, okay, now you're champ, I'm number one contender. Can I come fight with you? No, I'm not. I don't want to fight with you. That's double standard. I don't understand that.
So I think part of your response is because he put out a video when this fight was announced saying this is the 4th time and finally it's going to happen and I'm going to erase him from the division. He won't get any more title shots. This is his 3rd time. Did you see this video and did that bother you even more?
No, the part of the whining where he's talking about people avoiding him and do you really think that in this division, when you get in the top 10 and when you get to the third, the second, the first one, the champ, Do you really think that people are making their choices guided by the fear? I mean, that make no sense. Do you really think that anyone in the fight game in the top 10 will be scared of? I mean, Ciryl have been fighting with. I mean, like with. You can name it whatever you want. Like Derek Lewis, one of the best knockout artists in the division. Jairzinho, Francis Ngannou, everyone. So it's not about being scared of someone. It's about making choices. Like making choices. I choose to fight with you, or I don't choose to fight with you, and we will call you a coward or someone who dug a fight when the UFC make the proposition and you said no, not because anyone called you out. And this is the part that annoying me. But him saying that he will retire Ciryl Gane or he will arrest Ciryl Gane for the title running makes sense for me. This is fair enough. I mean, this is fair. It's okay. I mean, it's try to build the fight and try to clash a little bit, but you need just to keep this in mind. Tom Aspinall has more pressure on him that any other fighter I never experienced in the last decade. Because could you imagine what will happen if Thomas Aspinall do not deliver on October 25th? I mean, that will be beyond the embarrassment. I think this is a lot of pressure that you don't want to take in your shoulder. I think when they get locked up in the cage, you will understand why Ciryl Gane was in that silence, just being there, just thinking, just training, and just making there that it deliver. Because when you get some experience, you understand that everything that we talk and we can just talk is just talking. And the real thing will happen during the fight.
I love this. Fernand. This is great stuff. Can I ask, do you feel like this is Ciryl's last chance to become UFC champion?
I think that I can't call it right now, but I think that this is a big time for Ciryl. This is the time that we have been waiting. Like, this is the moment to become a champ. And if when Ciryl become champ, he can keep trying to go for defending the title, or maybe going around and try to fight if he lost the title. But let's just focus on Tom Aspinall and let's just focus on what will happen that day. And this is what we're trying to do right now. I'm not thinking, I don't want to put even more pressure on my guy, telling him this is your last chance to have this title. It's not about title. It's about the journey. It's about what did you learn on this? You know, like I made some mistake. He made some mistake. This poster that I have here in my background, I keep this poster there to remind me that I made some mistake, and I had 2 times the chance to become champ with Ciryl Gane, and we miss it. And we own that mistake, and we learn from that mistake, and we will make sure that we use that as a motivation and win this fight.
Against Francis, what was the mistake?
Well, the mistake was that I didn't make it to convince my guy that Francis will take him down. Like, you heard Ciryl saying that in the interview that I said that to him maybe 100 times. But he said that he was convinced that even he get thrown down, he would submit Francis, because he felt like his ground game, technically speaking, was better than Francis. But he didn't take in account the strength of Francis. I mean, the power that Francis possesses. He just played the grappling, like the blocking grappling. So Ciryl tried to hit a guillotine, and then went from Kimura, and then went from the sweep, and then tried to hit a heel hook. And the guy was just, something huge and strong that it couldn't move and get exhausted with that. So this is the mistake that I own, which is don't say my God did not listen to me. You have to make sure that you convince him that this guy will shoot a takedown. Because when Ciryl Gane is aware of takedown coming, bro, it's very hard to take him down. When Ciryl is convinced that this guy will take me down at the first minute of the game, good luck to take him down because of the movement, because what it can do. So obviously you can tell in the first 2 rounds with Francis that Ciryl was confident that, okay, this is striking game. And in the end of the game, we were like, okay, now I understand why you told me 100 times Francis will bring you down, because at some point when you have this kind of game that Ciryl possesses, which is moving and distance management, people they don't like to stay around with you because you expose their weakness. You expose how if they are not good on the feet, you expose them. So people they will just try to cut the distance and make sure that no one sees what's going on in the striking department.
And so I know you say that you want to focus on Tom, but is part of the dream you win the belt on October 25th and then you welcome John Jones back? Is that a dream to get that one back, to right that wrong? Do you think of that?
It's not a dream. It's like I just want to mention that Ciryl is not what I know from Ciryl. I'm not talking for him. What I know from Ciryl is not focused on revenge fight, like try to fight back Francis or try to fight back John. Just this is not his focus. He know how to move on and move forward. But if that happens, that's a good thing because John's still a big name, and I believe that if they do this fight with Jones 10 times, we don't have the same result. I mean, like we wouldn't have the same result.
What do you think? 9 out of 10 for Ciryl?
Ariel, you want to get me in trouble?
No, I mean, you said that. I mean, what? 5 out of 5? So 6 out of 4? 8 out of 2? We'll go with 9 out of 10.
I'm not good in mathematics. I'm not good in algebra. Leave me alone.
Okay, fair enough. What do you think? What does your heart say? How do you win on October 25th? What are you feeling?
To be honest with you, I don't think that you can leave any stone unturned with Tom. I think Tom can do it all, and you have to be ready to beat him in everything. So we are really training. Like, listen, this last 6 months, my schedule has been almost entirely focused on running the Ciryl Gane camp setup. And with the announcement, the next 3 months will be as intense that I just said. So we are just training, and make sure that we do it all. I don't want to let any department saying that, well, you know what, I will be focused on striking because I cannot become a best wrestler. No, we keep wrestling and we keep grappling. And I'm not focused on grappling and leave the striking because Tom can do it all, and we are ready and prepared to do it all. And we are ready, like for tomorrow. Ciryl is ready to fight tomorrow. So we have time. Now we just have to keep no injury, nothing, just be ready and keep going till the fight.
And I see you have another one in the factory, Dave Fotsing. This guy looks like a giant. How big is this guy? Look at this guy right here. What is going on here? He looks like 2 times bigger than Ciryl in this picture.
No, because that was the end of the training, and Ciryl was like lean a little bit inside, and
Okay.
The picture looks like he's 2 times, but actually they're almost the same. The picture was just he was sitting very very tall, and Ciryl was leaning back and sitting inside, and that's what you have, that picture like this, but it's not that big.
Okay.
It's not that
But
tall.
he's 2-0, so he's new, right? How long before we start to see him into a Contender Series, UFC, something like that? What do you think?
Very soon, because Mick contacted me about him.
Oh,
so
wow.
he said they're preparing a contract for him, and I'm pulling back a little bit because I want him to have like 2-3 fights before getting there, and they already knows about him like very well.
Yeah, as they should. He looks very impressive. Can't wait for this, Fernand. Thank you so much for the time. Bon courage. Good luck to you and the team. Appreciate you joining us. And we send our best to you and everyone, and to Ciryl as well.
Always a pleasure to talk with you, my friend. And Ariel, thank you. Bye-bye.
Merci, merci. There he is, the one and only Fernand Lopez. Great stuff. Nice little table setter. I got excited there. For the 25th of October. That's some good stuff there. I liked it when it came out about the annoying. That's good stuff. Yeah. One of these days we'll have Tommy on as well. Perhaps we can have one Ciryl Gane as well. We've got some time. About 3 months away. A little less than 3 months away. But that Dave Fotzen guy, holy smokes. He looks like a giant. An absolute giant of a man. All right. Great chats. 5 of them still to come. 5 p.m. Ariel and Ade on DAZN. Everyone in the boxing world loves this show. You've seen everyone talk about it. It's the most talked about boxing show in the history of boxing shows. And it emanates, by the way, I've yet to say this week, pardon me, from the home of the #1 unbiased combat sports outlet on the planet. Actually, not just the #1, the only. To suggest that we're #1 is to say that there's multiple, but there aren't. The only. Unbelievable. Time now for Super Chats before we go. Super Chats. Frank a little under the weather, unfortunately, but I believe...
Who, me?
Fighting valiantly. How are we feeling, Frankie?
Aaron!
Not great. I mean, the fact that he won't even speak is a little troublesome. I actually texted him today, left me on red. And I think, I bet he thought that I was texting to see if he was going to show up. This was simply out of concern. This was simply friend to friend.
That's fucking bullshit.
I swear. I was simply checking in. Love him like a brother. Yep. And I thought that the ship doesn't sail without him. We are a rudderless. Yeah, we are a rudderless ship without him. He is our captain. And was I concerned? Yes. But ultimately,
D1 Glazer, bro.
ultimately, him reading and not acknowledging felt like some sort of acknowledgement that he will be there. Maybe not with bells on, but he will be there.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Let me get to the Super Chats here real quick. I had them and then I lost them. You see what happens, Frank, when you're not doing it? I had them. Oh, I guess I can just read them here. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Pretty nice. Add Super Chats tomorrow for total, or 2 total for Ben, please. So what does that mean? Oh, every
As
cent.
in, like, the Super Chat money that we get goes right to Ben Askren on top of the auction. That if everyone just throws $5 to Super Chats, now you can really add on to the auction.
Can I tell you something right now? Absolutely brilliant. I love that. Every single penny that we get tomorrow via Super Chat will be added to the auction total. How about that? That's a brilliant... Who said that? What's the person's name?
Trayvon Logan?
Trayvon Logan. Tomorrow. So tomorrow will actually be like a sort of telethon where I can actually legitimately say, without people mocking me, every penny counts.
Yeah, and you also can't shame the Super Chatters who actually send
No.
in like $1.99.
No. Literally every penny counts. So 99 cents, we love you. 65 cents, we love you. $45, we love you. $250, we love you. That's a brilliant. Why didn't we think of that? So tomorrow is Ben Askren Day. The auction will end Thursday at 12:58 p.m. Eastern time. But tomorrow will be my last show of the week, obviously, because then I hand it off to the boys in the back. Every penny that comes to us via Super Chat will be added on top of what that auction final number is. How about that, guys? What do you think?
I love it.
Okay, great stuff. What else? Danielle Cooper. Just want to say thanks for the show yesterday. I'm a huge fan of heavy metal and combat sports. I appreciate all the guests. Just wondering if you'd be able to get Shayna Baszler or the Bellas on. Thanks. We've had Shayna on before, obviously no longer in the WWE, but I think she's working as a producer now. I would love to have her on. She recently parted ways with them, so that would be a great one. I can tell you along those lines, her mentor, the great Josh Barnett, the baby-faced assassin, will join us in studio tomorrow. He's got a blood sports show in Rutherford, New Jersey on Saturday, same day as SummerSlam Night 1. Always love having Josh on. Much to talk to him about. So he'll join us in studio. We could talk to him about Shayna. Also joining us in studio tomorrow is the legendary Dr. Mike. You guys know Dr. Mike from YouTube. Also fought on an MVP card. He'll join us in studio. We could talk to him about Muhammad Yaya's eye and all kinds of different things. But he's just a fascinating guy. So if you have any medical questions you want to get in there, get them in there. Also, we'll be joined by Johnny Eblin in what I do believe is his first chat since losing his title to Costello Van Steenis. So stay tuned for all of that. That is tomorrow on our Ben Askren Day. And of course, OTN on the nose. You guys know where to send in those questions, right? arielhelwani.substack.com is the place to be to send in all the questions. So please do that, and we will get to as many as possible tomorrow. Do we have another? Oh, here it is. Yes. Do we have another one? No, I think that's it. That's it. All right. Love it. Okay. I'm very excited about this. I could actually say it. Every penny counts. Every penny goes to a good cause. Wonderful. Frank, are you doing better? Okay. I mean, that would seem to be some kind of indication that you are doing better.
This is truly the moment I have been waiting for.
It's amazing. You can have a full conversation just with the drops. I think you ran out. See, the problem is you only have like 20 on your thing. We do actually have like 40 or 50, but you've decided for some reason to, I don't know, put some in the back.
Those fighting words.
I don't know what it is. Actually, a couple times I've said we should grab this one, that one.
We don't care.
They haven't come through. For whatever reason. But that's okay. You win or you learn. Yeah, it is tough. You win or you learn. And I do hope tomorrow you feel better. Can you at least just show up for tomorrow's show? And then I don't care what you do the rest of the week. Is that all right?
You got it, man.
Oh, wow. That's how you sound.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What do you think we're dealing with here?
I refuse to speak because you just shit
Okay,
on
I'm
me.
sorry.
He's excited for the doctor tomorrow so we can get checked out.
Hell yeah. Tomorrow, like I said, Josh Barnett, Dr. Mike, and Johnny Eblin, OTN. You guys know the drill. Today on the program, it was a wonderful, eclectic day. Thank you very much to Tatsuro Taira. Thank you very much to Shadasia Green. Thank you to Jailton Almeida. Thank you to Rory MacDonald. Thank you to Fernand Lopez. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to all of them. Back on Wednesday. Same time, place.